Ready or not, here I come, I stay fly. Materializing all my goals with my third eye. These hands command my life expansion, that's on my tribe. These hands demand financial stances and limitless supply. Perfection, that's my go-to direction. I am the now and the next one. I am the present conception, divine celestial reflections projected. Visuals excellence, knocking you off your socks. The year of platinum is what I see on my watch. Alchemizing is all that I got. 19 keys for the minds that I done unlocked. Formulas for these GMOs that you done concoct. These spells is like the wood that you gon' knock. Ayy. My pockets on PHAT if you're slim, miss me. Cause I'm the sunshine that be burning shit up. I say my LANE on my way to Millie's. Cause I'm the sunshine that be burning shit up. That was fire. That was fun. Just day one.
Yes, y'all. Feel the beat all.
Sunshine Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. We on day 8, y'all.
Yes, y'all. Feel the beat all.
What I think I create. What I think I create. What I think I create. I'm manifesting infinite gains. I open myself to everything that's new. I walk in my power and I walk in my truth. I have confidence. I am sure that I'm aligned. I maintain the balance with my heart and with my mind. I am aware that I've been here before. I rise above these dimensions, open doors once more. I manifest my reality that exists to me. My mudras, Dr. Strange with fingertips and energy. I'm holding on a new earth, say vibes and then I do work. A starseed in Jersey with a mind to build a new earth. I think and my actions just follow. A 3 of wands with these palms, with bravado. I am present and my now is my tomorrow. Divine align and the nines, my lives on El Gato. 10 spheres will bring my ideas here. What I think I create, I declare and I hear. 10 spheres will make my thoughts appear. And what I think I create, I am present and aware. 10 spheres will make my thoughts hear. And what I think I create, I declare and I hear. What I think I create. What I think I create. What I think I create. I'm manifesting infinite gains. What I think I create. What I think I create. What I think I create. I'm manifesting infinite gains. Sunshine Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. It's day 14, y'all. And 14 also adds up to 5. And speaking of 5, my hands are rated 5 stars. They're also rated E for everybody. Because as you know, everybody needs these hands. You feel me? Well, I'm a Aqua, no Virgo code, no more on these airstreams. You gon' need a Torah to compute what these bars mean. Stars seeds, fake and sprout. My yacht is what my roots speak out. Chatter in the cosmos, zeros coming from the clouds. See me, I ain't nothing nice. I just move in kindness. All your stars run through my veins, over scales break forth the righteous. On the 3s, I hear my name. Sunshine, pull up to guide us. Don't ask me how. Babylon a 10, all inside us. I bring the self-mastery through calories of strategies, expanding your capacity and audacity. On the 3s, if you bucking, you best be nuts. These hands on E5 star production. If you bucking, you best be nuts. These hands on E5 star construction. If you bucking, you best be nucking. I create 2 6s. That's a dozen. I'm the one you summon, then I'm the one that brings destruction. If you bucking, you best be nucking. I'm abducting souls at something. If you bucking, you best be nucking. Hands on E5 star production. I told y'all what I manifest with these 5-star hands be popping, y'all. I'm on my 5, you hear me?
Sunshine Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. We chatting about association today, y'all. I healed all my wounds, heart chakra on the twos, Libra scales, dovetail, I receive, reciprocate too. I'm coming out of solitude, got my magnet on fine tuned. I'm doing what I gotta do, manifest the vibes of my crew. It's peace when we all assemble. Under neon, baby, we all kinfolk. Made my 6th house be the symbol, aligned with 11, bond on tenfold. Strong friendships is what my heart's been awaiting. I'm creating an environment for association. You be my friend, come be my friend. Be the vibes I send. If you comprehend, we align then. Strong friendships, what my heart's been awaiting. I'm creating an environment for association. It's peace here in communication. We speak clear. I be your motivation. I be your cheerleader. Strong friendships, what my heart's been awaiting. I'm creating an environment for association. You be my friend, come be my friend. Be the vibes I send. If you comprehend, we align then. Strong friendships, what my heart's been awaiting. I'm creating an environment for association. Strong friendships, what my heart's been awaiting. I'm creating an environment for association. Sunshine Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. We manifesting money today, y'all. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Currencies, rivers pouring into oceans. Abundantly to the dollars I am wanted. Currencies, rivers pouring into oceans. Abundantly to the dollars I am wanted. Flowers to a bee, I watch my money come to me. Effortlessly, them dollars, they be wanting me. Flowers to a bee, I watch my money come to me. Effortlessly, them dollars, they be wanting me. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money breathes me, I am their air. I am the air, my inheritance declared. Money breathes me, I am their air. I am the air, my inheritance declared. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily. Money comes to me easily. Money loves, together we flow breezily.
Manifested by elements ethereal, Anu of terrestrial material, intertwined celestial of imperial, infiltrating corporation of oppressive serial. Resilience is something like a miracle, observing kinfolk and draconian material. The more equipped for ascension, the more one seems to be treated as inferior. Dr. Umar said, the white man's heaven here, Asian man heaven here, Arabic man heaven here. But the black man heaven fit. The black man heaven fit, cause it lies in death. Release from the karma debt, release from all the stress, release what we don't confess. In order to live, I guess we must be bodiless. Makes me wonder, if we made out of greatness most fit for this plane, then why we the most hated? Why we the most hated? Was I in court waiting for my sentence? Listening to a witness accuse me of unfitness to remain in these cosmic dimensions? Is that why we repent and we ask for forgiveness? The hours and days, they feel repetitious. Oppressive energy soaking up my minutes. Purple haze blowing smoke on my grimace. Another nobody traveling out of limits. Exiled from cosmos as penance. Or maybe this time it's just the intermission. Like Jesus chapters that went missing. traveling and gaining knowledge between the dimensions. Christ consciousness bringing me ascension. Kundalini flows up, knowledge wearing my intentions. So don't cry for me when my time is risen. Sing some praises, cause you know that I made it. And know you're all my extensions. Yes, you're all my extensions. Hey, peace, y'all. Welcome to the Planetary Forecast with your girl Sunshine Monet L. Let me know if you can hear me all right on the other side. I'm so excited to be here, y'all. This is my 33rd year in life. This is so cool. I'm in my Jesus year. And it's so crazy how I keep repeating patterns and shit, because last year, my birthday, I ended up doing the vision board stuff y'all see in the background. And the Planetary Forecast ended up happening on my birthday, because last year my birthday was on a Monday. And this year, my Monday, I don't know what I was doing. I was chilling. But divine alignment, I am here. Welcome to the Planetary Forecast. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes, y'all. Y'all some real ones. The posts, the videos, the everything all day long. I feel so loved. I really appreciate y'all. Today was like a very dope self-love day. I'm such a Virgo, so my self-love was, I cleaned the kitchen and I cooked myself some veggie tiki masala and making the vision board, and I lit my candles with my intentions. Y'all see them in the background. They gonna stay lit, and I'm here with y'all. This is the Virgo energy. Thank you, Denny. You always been, always are, and always will be a sis. You heard me. So let's pull up the Planetary Forecast presentation. Shouts to my brother Knowledge out there. I know he over there juggling tasks and whatnot. My man's is on Kai Zodiac versus himself. That, I love Kai Zodiac. That is some real Leo shit. I'm over here like, bro, if you ain't a Leo, I don't know what a Leo is, but I love you though. But welcome to the Planetary Forecast. Here on the Planetary Forecast, we talk about what the planets is doing and what kind of electromagnetic energy that creates for us. I love you, Denny. You a real one. So, getting started. I don't know if y'all know what a natal chart is, so we just gonna get to the gist of it. A natal chart is the planetary placements when one is born. All living beings have electromagnetic fields, including terrors of the universe. And those different electromagnetic fields have an effect on the chakra centers of oneself. We'll get into what are chakras in a moment. Natal placements are the result of how one spent their past life, what they learned or still need to learn in this life. These placements provide spiritual, mental, emotional, physical tools for one to navigate through this life. The goal is to rise above all the cosmos and gain energetic awareness through sphere 0, the crown chakra, which aligns, your root to your crown. Natal charts are calculated by one's birth date, time, birth city, and state. There's like hundreds, infinite different ways you can read these charts. Here, unless nobody's, we do the Vedic chart, which is the constellations. And Vedic constellations is vibrations. We do the tropical chart, which is your thought process. That is zodiacs. We do the draconic chart, and that is the lunar pathway, which deals with the soul. We do it towards your natal if you want a one-on-one, but in sake of conversation that's going on right now, we are doing the collective transit chart. We're talking about where the planets are. So if you want to chime in about your personal planets, you have any questions about your personal planets in relation to what we're talking about in the transit chart, feel free to speak up. I'm here for you. What are chakras? So you're an infinite being in a physical form right now. Astrophysically speaking, you are a condensed vibration. You're so condensed that you have a masculine space, which is physical outside of self. All your physical forms have non-physical facets and other physical facets. You're a cell and a cell and a cell. You also have a mental, spiritual, emotional, etc. facet to each of your physical beings. The spiritual self of our physical part is called the chakras. Balance and imbalance of these selves center and affect all of our other selves, including our physical. Like one example would be like maybe you're angry. So when you're angry, your heart starts racing. Angry is the non-physical. That's the chakra. That's the feeling. That's the energy. And your heart racing, that's the physical aspect. That's the physical result. blood pressure goes up, etc., etc. We have seven main chakras within this dimension that we acknowledge. Your chakras have chakras that have chakras. The word chakra means wheel or circle of life, and is connected to the main energy centers of your body. We also name these like deities, orishas, colors, frequencies, sounds, zodiacs, animals, herbs, numbers. All that is all in alignment. All living elements of this universe last and next. The flow of energy through your chakra is called a Shakti, and Brahman or supreme energy is responsible for the release and function of Shakti, which is you. You are the Brahman. The mystic aim is to take the coiled energy at the root chakra, which is the Kundalini, and release it until the Brahman, which is you, unconscious energy from sphere 10 to sphere 0 of the Netarus. What is sphere 10 to sphere 0? I'm glad you asked. Here it is. We go from sphere 10, which is Earth, Malkuth, and we make our way up to sphere 0 when we're in the crown chakra or Aquarius energy simultaneously. This shows you how the numbers are in alignment with the Kabbalah energy, in alignment with the planets, in alignment with the Netarus and the spheres of life. All of it is connected, and all of it is also connected to your body. Now, we talked about how your chakras have chakras, but this is how your chakras have a masculine and feminine side. So the feminine side, generally speaking, is just the internal side, the non-physical, the intuitive side, the emotional side. And that is Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Those are all the yin sides or feminine sides of your chakras. Then Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo are the external sides, the masculine side outside of self. Then we got some information on the names and the ruling planets of each chakra and the elements, because we can simplify the planets and things to elements and stuff like that, which is always fun. And then this is how the different planets and chakras rule over different parts of your body. It's a nice body chart. We also get into astrocartography here. So not only were the planets around you, because when we talk about natal chart, we're talking about natal chart as if you're the zenith. The zenith is simply your pole. So that little spiral that's coming out of your head, that's at the top of your head where your hair spirals, that is your zenith. So your natal chart is based upon your zenith, how, or your crown chakra, your connection to other people's crown chakras. When we get into astrocartography, we're getting to, instead of using you as the zenith, we're using the pole, the celestial poles of the planet. And so all the planets in your natal chart had a relation to you and had a relation to the planet as a whole. So when we get into astrocartography, we get into the connection between you and where the planets are around you, which is basically you being the nuclei and the planets being around you being the protons, neutrons, and electrons, and how that was in relation to the actual overall map as we know it. So it kind of gives you an idea of the different kind of experiences you've had or will have on different parts of the world, which is pretty cool. I love reading astrocartography charts. I have a great time. So like I said, the 7 chakras are within this dimension, which is the 3rd and 4th dimension of self. And then we go beyond that once we get, the crown chakra is the first chakra that is actually intangible and takes you above to the next level. And then we get into the next dimension, which is the 5th dimension. And that's when we start talking about the star seeds and your actual soul. And then we keep going into other dimensions of the stellar gateway, your universal self. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. All that different stuff. So that's, the different dimensions. But here we're going to focus on the 3rd, 4th, and some of the 5th dimension. I know different people are on different dimensions, and I respect that. I like to use the heliocentric model. I do like a little. I don't know if y'all ever read the book Beyond the Ice Wall, or at least looked at the maps of Beyond the Ice Wall. But I see like a combination of the Beyond the Ice Wall map in alignment with the heliocentric model. See, it's pretty valid here. This is how we correlate where the Earth is in relation to the sun. So this week we have the sun moving from Virgo to Libra constellation. Zodiac, right? So as the sun is in Virgo to Libra, we have Earth more so in Pisces to Aries energy happening there. and that's the equal opposite sign, right? So our midheaven is in the Piscean area, moving towards Aries. Mind you, the sun just entered Virgo constellation on the 18th. So the Earth is kind of just now entering the Pisces constellation as well. So that's a comparison between the tropical and the Vedic. And I also like this because it has a Ophiuchus here. And I would like to get one that has Cephas in between Gemini and Cancer because, I mean, no, it's Taurus and Gemini, I believe. Adding the 14 zodiacs. So when we get into the astrology of other, practices, we're in the season of, let's see. Let me pull up my notes. I know we're not in the season of seeding anymore. So with like ancient Kemetic seasons, instead of having 4 seasons, how we do today, we actually just have 3 in ancient Kemet, and it was 4 months into each season. They also had 10-day weeks too, which I found pretty interesting. So we were in the season of seeding, but we've just entered the season of Shamu. All right. And that's fun. So that is the season of Sekhmet is Virgo season, and we're in the we're in the season of Shamu. So that is like the raining season beginning and stuff like that, which is a good thing. So happy Sekhmet season, y'all. We are in the year of platinum, which is like the alchemy horoscope. And with the year platinum, that's simply like, calculated by adding up the numbers in the years. Peace, peace. Being in the year of platinum, which is the year of 7, great talent and luck to do what you want, selective in love and friendships, and can come off cold, difficult to connect. Priority in life is business and social success. Being good in business relating to design and fashion is on the forefront at the moment, and then facing objective problems, working on not clinging to the past is on the forefront of this year. As far as West African astrology, we're in the season of the traveler. The traveler is all about being versatile, open-minded, interested in everything, breaking routine. Anything new is attracting and opening heart and dreams, and this can also take you away from people that love you. Learning emotional intelligence this season. Pay attention to your emotions. We got a lot of things going on with the moon this season, right? And the purpose of that is to get you to pay attention to your emotional self, right? The brown bear. Peace, peace, love. Welcome to the Planetary forecast. The brown bear is the Native American horoscope, and this deals with a season of being practical and dutiful, intelligent, curious, enjoying routine and being of service, introverted and curious. Learning to resist that hermit card this season is big, 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 because Virgo energy is so dense, and that's like the only like constellation that has a black hole and everything in it. Peace, peace, love. Welcome to the Planetary forecast. And I think that's pretty cool. Like the Virgo constellation is the biggest constellation in the sky. It has like black holes in it. It has galaxies in it. It has stars that are bigger than our sun in it. It's just like a really cool place. And I love learning more and more about myself and the different facets of myself and the different zodiacs and the horoscopes or whatever. Because, if you look at my logo that I put on everything, it's Sekhmet. And that was actually something that a friend of mine had created without my input or anything like that. And I don't think he fully knew what he was doing. And then I find out Sekhmet is in alignment with Virgo. And then I learn about Sekhmet and do the research. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I've always had a fascination with bears. Like, anybody that knows me personally knows that I always say, like, when I come back, I'm definitely going to be a bear. I just want to chill and mind my business and just eat and not be a big deal. And so, to find out that Virgo energy is associated with the brown bears, just like divine alignment. I love it here. Anyway, the next season that we have, because you can see this season will be over in a couple of days, the Raven is associated with Libra season, and the Raven is the peacekeeper, a harmonizer, in between the shadow side and the spiritual nature. all about learning balance and being mindful of people pleasing and tipping the scales too much with the over giving energy. And that's what we have for the Raven. We are in the year of the rabbit in alignment with Chinese zodiac energy, and that's until February 9th. And so we're all about intuition, inner peace, patience, luck, and prosperity. Thinking things through before acting. Don't just jump on stuff because other people are jumping on it. Just think about it because there's a lot going on in Neptune, Piscean energy right now, which is all about delusions and delusions being unraveled, which is causing people to want to scramble and create more delusions while the other delusions are being. So, in the meantime of all that, please think things through. Be patient and be present. And your decision making skills, emotional intelligence is key. Now, we get into the root chakra. Hey, I don't know if you guys can see that link there, but if you would like to align, this is my birthday episode. You're more than welcome to. Please forgive me because the last few days, it's been this low bug that's been trying to like creep up in my throat. So I've been taking these little turmeric and ginger shots every time I feel a little tickle. So start with the root chakra. The root chakra is ruled by Saturn, right? Saturn as a collective is sitting in that Piscean energy. Saturn is still in retrograde. Saturn will be in retrograde all the way up to the end of the year, actually. And having Saturn in Pisces is, a lot of challenges going to your sacral chakra and the things that you find joy in, and create a new like discipline and order in those joyous spaces as a collective, like what we all like, what we're all into, which is causing like a lot of businesses and stuff. Because remember, I said Piscean energy deals with delusions. Delusions is in alignment with marketing strategies. I started reading, I don't know if y'all familiar with Miguel Ruiz, but he wrote the four agreements. And so I got another book by Miguel Ruiz. It's called The Circle of Fire. And in it, he speaks on the truth and what the truth is. And it's like once you start using your voice box and you start communicating your point of view, you're no longer walking in truth. Now you're walking in your point of view. And so the truth is like, again, coming back to that realm of emotional intelligence, removing your emotions from the experience and just seeing the experience for what it is, separate from your indoctrinations or the different agreements that were impressed upon you. Because a lot of times when we tell stories in relation to where we're at in life and what experiences we've had and where our moral ethical code is. And that's why it's not truth, because it's our point of view. Our point of view and truth are two different things. I know a lot of us like to get on these podiums because a lot of these podiums allow us to be seen and feel seen or heard. And so we speak in and we say these things are truth. But at the end of the day, they're not. They're not, because somebody else can come in and say, well, this is my truth. And who's to say one is true and one is not? Nobody can, truly do that. You could just say you agree with this one more because it resonates more with your personal experiences and patterns and stuff like that versus someone else's. So Saturn being in Pisces, causing challenges to the truthers, the people who really believe that they're being truth tellers, causing, a lot of challenges to the followers out here. You guys know the last few lives I did was really focused on people being in charge of their root chakra. You are your own authority, especially when in August, when we had the blue moon and we began the full moon in the beginning of August in the root chakra, starting in Capricorn energy and starting in Capricorn energy and making its way to Aquarius. We started the month off in our root chakra with the moon. So all of August was really like focused on like, who's in charge? Who's the authority over self? Are you allowing influencers to be authority? Is the government authority? Is the Federal Reserve authority? Is, different religious people authority? Are, different experiences, quote unquote traumas. Y'all know I don't like that word, but are those authority? Who's authority of you and making different decisions for you? Because that's who's creating the illusions and the delusions that you have in Pisces. And so Saturn is here to bring challenges to those spaces. And you could do whatever you want with those challenges. You could stand on your square and say, hey, I said what I said and I meant it. And throughout these challenges and repeating the patterns in these challenges, Saturn, I'm going to stay grounded in what I said that is ruling my authority. Or you can start being more mutable in that space and start, allowing yourself to be flexed in that space. Or you could I don't know. Let somebody else be in charge. I don't know what to say, but this is your root chakra collective, and so it's like, who do y'all want to be in charge? Who's in charge here? What's making the world go round? For a long, long time, we've been saying money makes the world go round. Excuse me. Is that what we still want to be in charge? Is that still, feasible? That's up to us as a collective. But like I said, there's a lot of challenges coming to the illusionists out there to see, where it's at and where you at. Now, on the Vedic scale, Saturn is still sitting in Aquarius. So a lot of this in the realms of social awareness and social justice, the people that you're around and stuff like that. So again, I say, like, as a collective, you see what has been ruling over our root chakra, what powers that be have been ruling our root chakras, whether it's the public education system or religion or the federal government or the city government, county government, whatever, the Federal Reserve, the credit companies, the 3 credit companies, all those things. What has been ruling us as a collective? Do we still want it to rule us? And look around at your social circles to see how it's been affecting. And these are conversations we need to be having as a collective. Like, what are we doing? I watched this podcast recently and it was so good. It's called World of Controversy Podcast. I highly suggest y'all follow them on Instagram. And on the podcast, I like that how they had 3 different people up there with 3 different points of view. And one of them was rooted in, go on LinkedIn, go on Indeed, get a job. You don't got to rob people. You don't got to do this. Just go get a job. And then someone else was saying, no, we need businesses. And then you got the devil's advocate individual. And then you got someone and then I was on the sideline like, bro, at the end of the day, y'all still slaves, whether you got a business or you got a job, because you still working for the Federal Reserve notes. You still playing the Federal Reserve note game. You still playing the credit game, and you ignoring the foundation to those organizations or those privatized businesses. You still allowing them to rule you. And look at what's been happening to our societies and our communities ever since we allowed those entities in. And so, like, that was my point of view. But it was really cool to see, like, the different point of views and, whatever dimension you want to say each one is based upon your own personal truth or whatever. But it was a really dope dialogue. All that very much in alignment with Saturn. What is our call to action? Where is our discipline and boundaries, going to be rooted in? That's the question here, right? So when we get into the yin side of the root chakra, this is the feminine side, the internal side, and all those things, that's ruled by Aquarius energy. Now, Aquarius is in alignment with the first sphere of the tree of life. So when it comes to the netters and the Kabbalah, like on the Aquarius side, it's like it's in the root chakra, but your root chakra is supposed to be rooted in the cosmos. However, in a lot of our spiritual practices, religious places, the education system, all of those places teach you that everything is outside of self, right? The altar is outside of self. The God is outside of self. Nature is outside of self. Love is outside of self. Everything is outside of self. Nothing is within. And that's because we've been taught to root ourselves in the human experience. However, when you put your Aquarius or your Shango, Asar, however way you want to address this energy, if you put that energy in alignment with the cosmos, you'll realize there's a unity, one with all type of energy there, all facets of the same one, right? So what we have here is Eros, which is love, and I love it here that Eros is here. That's fun. We also have Chariklo. Chariklo is like karma energy, but it's like the style of karma, like what's the style of karma right now, and it's very much in alignment with social awareness and social justice. So the cosmos is like calling for us to come together. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you're sitting in your house trying to do it by yourself, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to work, but it's not going to be it's not going to, it's a lot more challenging The universe wants us to align. The social awareness and the justice, it has to come with the actual social. So I know a lot of people, especially a lot of people that sit on like, platforms, and they look at themselves like a leader. Again, something I talked about thoroughly last week. Be careful with those people who just want followers, because you have to check their intentions. Who is their authority? Who is creating their discipline and their boundaries in order for them to think that way? It's just me by myself in this fortress, and y'all just following me and doing what I say. You have to check those people, check yourself. I told you, Saturn is in Pisces for a reason. It's going to be a lot of people that have been, very essential since this whole, virtual like boom, in the virtual community, with guiding people and providing edification to people. You're going to see some of their true colors come out because that Saturn is in Pisces telling on them. All right. And that's Chariklo too. Chariklo is showing that karmic energy in a grace, in a social centered way. These individuals have been socially influencing, so now it's, that energy is coming out. And then I think it's cool that we started the week off with it at 911. All right. And then it is in the space of transformation. So again, that's reverting back to like the leaders, people that call themselves leaders, people sitting in the fortress or sitting on a throne or whatever. Pay attention. Just pay attention. That's all I got. It's challenges coming to those individuals. As some of the delusions or illusions they've been creating and saying that their truth, we're about to learn, it's not truth. It's your point of view, and that's okay. But it's not. We're not going to sit up here and say it's truth and try to make what you believe and what your personal moral and ethical is apply to everyone, because we're all reflection of one. Hygeia is also here. This is preventative measures in the social awareness realm. I like Hygeia as far as when you come together with the community or whatever, it's supposed to put you in a certain space with like, okay, so what can we do different, right? I Back to the podcast that I was talking about. So they brought up Tulsa. And feel free to communicate with me in the comment section. Thank you to those who are already doing so. But Tulsa was brought up, right? And this is a beautiful Hygeia conversation in Aquarius, because we do have a lot of stories like Tulsa. And it's just like, okay, so what can we do different in the realms of us, having our revolutionary happenings? Because Aquarian energy also rules over revolution, right? So what can we do differently in this space and time? What have we seen in the past patterns when we try to build and get destroyed? Because we have that quote amongst us, oh, I am not my ancestors. We are not our ancestors. We were summoned by our ancestors. We like ancestors 2.0 out here, because we went through those life cycles already. We learned those things. We're coming back with a whole different energy now. So like, now that we're here with a whole different energy, what are we going to do different? And then that comes back to the question, who is our authority? Back then, who was our authority back then? What was guiding our discipline and order and how we were building things? What was our skeleton of our creation based on? Was that a sturdy skeleton? We have to have those conversations. Again, y'all already know Sunshine gonna go back to the debt notes. Back then, we were still doing stuff for their money. We were still doing things for their money. We were still trying to infiltrate in their money realms and stuff like that. And we weren't protecting ourselves. We was on that kumbaya, nothing going to happen to us. We just out here type energy, not ready for war. And I think that everybody should have some type of like martial training. Everybody should have the ability to protect their home. Everybody should know who their neighbors are. Everybody should have some type of like, just how like in school we used to have a collective drill. Everybody knew what to do when the bell went off. That's what we should be able to do as a community. We should have our own drills. It should be things that we should have access to doing. But that comes with us learning how to connect. And that comes back to the horoscope we talked about earlier. Like, don't pull the hermit card this season. This is not the season to pull the hermit card. This is the season to learn how to come together and learn how can I be of service? Check your Mercury placements. Check your Virgo placements. How can you be of service to the people around you? What's your superpower? What superpower do you bring to the X-Men? You know what I'm saying? We need to work in the spiritual and not in the mundane. When we try to work in their evil system, which is evil, we receive our karma. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The more we try to, like, assimilate into how they go about doing things and just creating our own version of what they're doing, we don't make things better, we make it worse. And we do collect their karma, as we see now with our brothers out here killing each other, and we keep having to bury our sons, and all these different things. you know I know we're not really looking on their grass, but they got full blown channels that are centered around how they kill their parents and how they kill their spouses and stuff for insurance money. So even though they're not like gang banging and shooting each other outside on the street and selling drugs to people, like even though like those narratives are different, the energy and the Saturn is still the same. You get what I'm saying? So, not one is better than the other in my mind. It's just different. You can't play in dung and not come out funky. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And it is just about, figuring out what's a better placement for our Saturn. Where do we want to be rooted? I say root ourselves back into the cosmos, like you said. We need to work in the spiritual. We need to come back to Maya, come back to the Kabbalah and these different things, and like re what do you call it? Recalibrate ourselves. Like, the sphere that, Scorpio rules over teaches you the whole solar plexus sphere, which we'll get into momentarily. It speaks on how, like, the whole point of it is learning to have new beginnings, learning how to create rebirth after destruction and all that stuff like that, without moving violently, without retaliating in a violent manner. And that comes a lot from being moving like Maya. I always think of Whitney Houston. The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. And if you get into Yahweh and God and all that stuff, you get it. You go down that rabbit hole. There is theories that God is the God of war. So yeah, leave it up to that guy. That's what that God likes to do. Go ahead, you got it. You the God of war. Blah blah blah. It's my duty to move in alignment with my eye and make sure my heart is light as a feather, because that's what's going to get me where I need to be, where I desire to be at. But you have different people, like I said, you have different people going through different experiences, and there's some people who say, hey, we do gotta fight, we do have to, people, certain religions preach on just war. And that brings me back to the theory that, yeah, under the God of war, out of all the gods in the pantheon, a lot of these religious books are based on the God of war. If you look at the book and you look at how that God in those books is called on, it's always called on before a war, before a battle, when they're about to go through some type of confrontation, when some adversity is on the way, or they're prophesizing some level of adversity, when empires are rising or falling. That's the Lord God, Yahweh, always getting called on during those times. So that's, I agree with that theory based upon the pattern I see. Now, let's move into Capricorn. So we got Pluto here. So we talk about Pluto a lot. When Pluto first entered, on was it March 23rd, 2023, Pluto had entered Aquarius, and now Pluto's in retrograde, so it went back into Capricorn in April-ish, right? And Pluto's going to stay in retrograde. It's doing the 6 months of retrograde, so we're here until about like December-ish. We're taking it out to 2024. So like in January 2024, that's when Pluto will be set in Aquarius. Now, between it being in the mutable energy and the degrees that it's in Capricorn right now, and the cardinal Aquarius energy, it's in this space. Pluto makes a turn every 248 years. So if we do the math and subtract 248 years, the last time this energy was in this realm was towards like the beginning years of the Revolutionary War. And then we can go back another 248 years and get into like the battle between the Moors and the Spanish, and then go back another 248 years. There's more empire wars, rise and falls of empires come around Pluto being in between this Capricorn and Aquarius energy, all in all. And if you keep going back into the cycles of Pluto being in this space. You'll see the rise and fall of different empires worldwide every 248 years from this space and time, which is very interesting. So all that to say, at this moment, we are watching. We are in the place of watching an empire fall. So while we're watching this empire fall and we're trusting that Oya is working in our favor, that's the that's the Orisha of Pluto. We're trusting that this energy is working in our favor and watching these things fall. What is going to be the rebirth? Bringing you back to the question of Saturn, like who is the authority? Where are we rooting ourselves? Where is our infrastructure going to be based on? Because everything that it has been based on, Pluto is bringing destruction to those spaces. You know how some certain spaces might end up being exactly the same. You know what I mean? Like you ever clean your room, and in order to clean your room, you reorganize it, so you take everything out and you're staring at everything. And yeah, some stuff, some boxes, some objects might go back in the same exact place. That's fine. If that worked the first time, it's going to work this time. But some spaces have totally different objects in there, totally different boxes in there, a whole different organization. And so while we're in this space of Pluto and everything is getting pulled out, you have all this stuff with these different corporations getting pulled out. You got the truth about the government slash privatized organization coming out. These are things we always knew, but we overlooked them because of how the information was being given to us. I remember there was a Netflix documentary where they were showing how they display information, and then if they display a certain kind of information with like funny music in the background, people would listen to it differently than if there was serious music. For one, I took theater and I took psychology when I was in school and stuff like that. So I was always aware of those things. So it really irritates me when I'm like watching videos on like Instagram and stuff, and I hear and I can see like the music, tactic being used. It irritates me because I don't know, like little things that feel like they're an insult to my intelligence. Like when people try to condition me or peer pressure me or manipulate me, it's a red button for me. I'm working on it. I don't know. My Mars is in Gemini. So all that to say, where was I going with this? I don't fucking know. But yeah, Pluto pulling everything out, putting everything back. We see different transformations happening with a lot of these celebrities and a different kind of like, people follow behind celebrities, people who admire celebrities. Like once upon a time, people would get in their cars and follow behind the tour buses of celebrities. You know what I mean? So like all those things going on and stuff like that. And some people allow these people in their root chakra to be the infrastructure on how they carry themselves, how they talk, what kind of clothes they wear, who they associate with, what they deal with and don't deal with in relationships and stuff. And so you see Pluto providing the destruction in those realms too as a collective. People don't like the same music anymore. They're not liking the same kind of movies. They're not liking the same kind of fashion because there's a certain level of social awareness that's happening with that Aquarius energy, with Eros, Triclo, and Hygeia and Aquarius. You know what I mean? So people are looking up, and as they learn how to unify and love one another, and they're really paying attention to the karmic energy that's happening in the people, is creating new desires and a new desire for new infrastructure. And that's exciting, right? Pholus is also here. Pholus is an asteroid. The story behind Pholus is whatever Pholus is nearby is going to be extreme. So while Pholus is in cardinal Capricorn and Pluto is more so immutable, meaning Pluto is in the 3rd degree area, while Pholus is in the first 10 degrees of Capricorn. They still are in the same zodiac. So Pholus is giving, some influence to Pluto. A lot of these transformations and things that we experience are going to be very extreme. Pholus emphasizes, and then Pluto is already the energy of obsession and extremities. On top of the fact that Pluto is also associated with sex. So that's in a divine alignment with a lot of the different things that's been happening, like as far as like the different movements, people coming out about childhood sexual trauma, the celebrity, I won't call them trends, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like the Me Too movement, and then men coming out, talking about their sexual discrepancies, the different conspiracies with the different celebrities and the different, underground things going on. Pluto also is associated with that too. Pluto is also associated with secrets. A lot of different corporations, organizations, associations are built on secrets. And so with Pluto putting shedding a light to that, a lot of those things are uncovering too. And like I said, Pholus being nearby is making everything extreme. Everything is like, bro, is this for real? Is this real? People really doing this? This is crazy. Yeah, is that level of stuff coming out. And that's what we got for the root chakra. So how y'all feel about the root chakra? When we get into the sacral chakra, this is where our being is established. This is where we get like that Jupiter or Obatala energy of generosity, chivalry, luck, optimism, the intellect of Tahuti, which is like the oracle sage type wisdom, that kind of like conscious energy that creates that boundary or the discipline for, you indulging in your sensual and sexual self. Some people have it, some people have too much of it, some people don't have enough. Some people have so much of it that they try to pour into other people's cups. You have these people again that sit on these platforms and tell other people how to spin their sacral chakra because of their personal Tahuti on their sacral chakra. Now, as a collective, Jupiter rules over the sacral chakra. Jupiter right now is in Taurus. So the focus right now is on love. And I like that, Jupiter is in retrograde right now. So, and we're taking that retrograde out all the way to like the end of the year, I believe. So with that energy, we have like the energy of Tahuti sitting in our vibration. Venus rules, Taurus energy rules the feminine side of the heart chakra. So that's the experience of, love. So that's why Taurus deals with like how you obtain and maintain money, because that's the intangible part of the actual action, where Libra is more so like the action of the balance of the scales. Taurus is more so like self-esteem and love and forgiveness and empathy and compassion and, wisdom of the heart. All those different things are more so like feminine type energy. So you have, the Tahuti energy giving you, the realm and the heart. Like, what do you want? What do you want? What are you trying to attract in your vibrations? What makes you feel good? And a lot of stuff that you've been indulging in, you may not like anymore. Jupiter is going to repeat some degrees. You're going to see, this connection between your sacral and your heart chakra. So people you have, sacral chakra connections with, and people you have heart chakra connections with, you're going to find yourself repeating certain experiences with them. Do I like these experiences? Do I want to keep these experiences going on? Is this what I want? Whatever. Or do I want new beginnings in this experience? Because Jupiter is in Aries on the Vedic scale. So even though it's in Taurus zodiac, it's still in the Aries constellation. So allow that constellation energy to give new beginnings in the spaces where you want them. On the yin side of the sacral chakra is ruled by Piscean energy. That's when we get into Mayat. You know how you watch the cartoons and they had like the devil and the angel on the shoulders? That's Piscean energy. That's the two fishes. Is the angel and the devil on the shoulders is the two fishes, and you're in the middle. You're the line that goes across those two fishes in the symbol of Pisces, right? And that's where we want you to be. We want you to be the line in the middle. That's in alignment with Mayat, your heart being in alignment with the feather, right? So while we're in that space, we got Neptune here. We got Neptune in its home space on the tropical and in the Vedic scale. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's all about repeating experiences to make sure that this is really what you want. It's like checking your work. Let's check your work. Make sure you like the answers that you gave. Do they still fit where you're at? We've been taught to run away from Saturn and run away from retrogrades, but these things are really here for us so that we can evolve. It's by design that we're being socially engineered to fear those things, and they have the music playing in the background with stuff going to retrograde, or people make those funny jokes. Oh, it's in microwave. Oh, it's in microwaves. Yeah, we make fun of those things. However, make sure you're still doing the work. Because we're energies first. You know what I mean? Learn the laws of physics so you can really grasp what's going on. This is, astrophysics right here. This is astronomy right here. And then, we overstand the power of the mind. the power of the abracadabra. So if we say something is a certain way collectively, then that's what it is. Excuse me. So yeah, coming back to Pisces, Neptune is in its home space. So this is dreams. Dreams. I'm not that good at decoding dreams. I have a son. My oldest son is getting good at it because he was a big dreamer. And I used to have like crazy dreams when I was pregnant with him. So I believe it. And as soon as he exited my body, I was like, "Ooh, thank you," because my man's had me going crazy. And my dream world was a lot. It was heavy. He could keep that to himself. But a lot of grandiose mindsets. Be careful with getting too sucked into the spiritual realm to where you forget that we're having a physical experience, and we're here having a physical experience intentionally. We had to come back down to these dimensions. If you were here in the beginning of the presentation when I showed you that these seven chakras that we're giving light to in the space and time, these are just the chakras of the third and fourth dimension. Once we get past the crown chakra, we started to get into the fifth dimension, right? So within these dimensions, we had to come down to these dimensions because we were up there doing a little too much. We were imbalancing some spaces. So it's a reason why we're down here. So let's not lose sight of that. We are, we're gonna take. It's kind of like the fact that in a transit chart, we have a draconic reset with our north node being in Aries and new beginnings, and our south node being in Libra, which is balance and harmony. And Pluto is actually square that energy right now. So a lot of the resistance is the destruction that Pluto is creating and the secrets and stuff like that. Like I said, these planets is working in our favor. It's a lot of stuff that we have to learn how to let go of, like Neptune and Pisces. There's some stuff that y'all have been like still trying to hold on to because you resonate with it. But at the end of the day, we can't keep resonating with certain things anymore. We have to be, otherwise, as you being a part of the resistance, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt. When I was a kid, I thought about, and it's insensitive. However, I was always in tune with my roots of being nomadic. I never understood, like, if you knew a storm was coming and it comes every year around the same time, why would you stay there in that area? You know what I'm saying? The knowledge would be like, move out the way, let nature do what it's supposed to do, and then come back and do what you gotta do. You know, be a part of nature. Like the birds leave, everybody else leaves but you, because you're rooted in the economic engineering, the social engineering of other things, and not so much as nature, right? So Neptune being in Pisces and stuff like that, it's like, excuse me, it being in alignment with Saturn too, because both of them are in retrograde. They're like repeating degrees to see, like, I mean, where are you at? Like, what are you rooted in? It's back to that question. It's back to that question. Like, are you rooted in others? Are you willing to leave when it's time to leave? Or are you going to stay and hold on to these things that no longer serve you? You're holding on to mindsets that no longer serve you. Like, I still have to do this. Like, okay, another example would be BRICS. Like, BRICS is going on right now outside of here, but yet we're still on our hamster wheel. And so to look at what's going on outside of the country and to look at the country and see like it's still business as usual, you have to ask the question, like, what's going on here? There was a whole like firestorm happening and people were just driving back past like, la, 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 gotta go to work. I'm not really thinking about that fire right there. Like, things like that are very interesting to me. It just goes to show that a lot of these, different social engineering methods are very much engraved in our minds. A lot of us are really holding on for dear life to certain things that just are no longer serving us. And Pluto is uprooting. Saturn is creating changes to it, but you're being like the resistance and you're like holding on to it. If you want to be bigger than the cosmos, I mean, good luck. But again, coming back to the fact that we condensed down here for a reason, and it wasn't to move against nature. You know what I'm saying? I highly doubt that. Especially like when you think about the dimensions that we're going up in and the dimensions that we actually affect by our actions and energy. Going against nature is negatively, heavily affecting those dimensions up there. Karma is also here. Karma is pretty self-explanatory. You see that a lot of people creating delusions, or a lot of people that are overindulging in the sacral chakra are getting their karma. A lot of people that have been repressing and suppressing their sacral chakra is getting a lot of karma. I do not suggest y'all suppress y'all sacral chakra. I know that social engineering has people looking at themselves and what they should find joy in, and this, that, and the third, a certain kind of way. I can't feel love until I have money. I can't be in a relationship and have bonds and relationships and support until I'm this ideal of perfection that was indoctrinated within me. I can't have sex until this thing is completed that was indoctrinated in me. Like different things like that. And it's just like if you're in alignment with the Netaroos, you'll realize that a lot of those things are just social conditioning. A lot of those agreements don't really belong to you. It's just what you have been taught is what is righteous, who is, or what a righteous man or woman looks like, what, how things are supposed to be according to certain religions and social structures. And some of us are very attached to certain eras and periods of time in history. And we are not looking at the context of those times in history and how people were treated and how it's not as spiritually I was about to make up a word, but I didn't like that word. I was going to say evolutionized. But basically, what we're doing right now has never been done before. So there's no period of time you can go back to and say, hey, we should be this level of spiritual, because being present, this is the highest that we've been, and we're going to keep going higher. You know what I'm saying? Now you can go back and look at blueprints for like methods and, rituals, and you want to bring some of that discipline. That's Libra. Bring some of that discipline into Aries, the new beginnings. That's the South and North Node, right? You could do that. However, to go back and say, I want to completely emulate this period of time, I'm pretty sure there are certain things in that period of time that you're overlooking to justify, how whatever part of that period of time resonates with you. Like I'll say certain men like to go back towards periods of time, especially Aboriginal men or Asiatic men, like to go back to certain periods of time because during those periods of time they were on the throne. However, if you look at the context of those periods of time, it was famine, it was, overindulgence in sacral chakra energy. It was a lot of black magic going on. It was a disrespect of women and children and objectifying them. It was a lot of those things going on. But because the black man was on the throne during that period of time, we just going to ignore the rest of that stuff that was going on. And that's why you'll see a lot of those leaders that are teaching people to follow them back to that period of time, or Saturn is creating challenges for them because they're creating these rules and they don't even fully understand. We're not here to go back. We could do the same Kofa thing, but we're not here to go back to those periods of time because those periods of time are not where we need to be. We trying to go to the next dimension. Y'all trying to go to the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimension, but y'all trying to go back to like second dimension concepts to do it. And that's not mathing to me. Ain't not mathing. So that's the sacral chakra for y'all. And go ahead and chat in the comment how the sacral chakra been going for you. Like, how's your personal like Jupiter placements and Pisces placements been treating you and your sacral chakra lately? Like, do you feel a transformation or a change? Because we do have two really big planets in retrograde in that area. Neptune and Jupiter over there. And I mean, yeah, Jupiter is in retrograde, Neptune is in retrograde, Saturn is in retrograde, and Karma is in retrograde. All these bodies are in retrograde right now. The midheaven just entered Pisces, so that means that Earth is in Pisces right now. That's the first dimension. So the first dimension is in the subconscious right now, which is very interesting and really dope. But be mindful that some of those people in the first dimension, they don't mean you well, and so it's going to be a lot of marketing towards your subconscious level, like, oh, we see y'all getting in tune with crystals, y'all getting into with color frequencies, y'all like these certain words, this kind of jargon and stuff like that. So they're going to try to market their goods, products, and services to you utilizing that energy. So don't be fooled in those realms as well. That's more Piscean energy for you. Yeah, I like repeating experiences. Sometimes it's just like, let me stand my ground again and stuff like that. My Jupiter and Saturn are working it and I'm living and loving it. I love it for you. I'm I had my Saturn return. Started it like started it on my 30th year. You know, about an hour or so ago, marked my 33rd year. So I'm excited because usually between the 33rd and the 35th year, you know, whatever energy, whatever work you have been putting in during that initial Saturn return, like this is it, because my Jupiter return is right around the corner. And I'm really excited about that. Like, that's going to be like a really good time. Fun times. So now we get into the solar plexus chakra. Now this is where, you know, we get our motivation and our energy. This is how we line our will with the will of the collective, right? This is our power, and this is the anger space too, and it's in Libra, you know, and then also reminding you that the South Node is in Libra too. So, you know, a lot of motivation towards like balance and justice, harmony, one-on-one interpersonal relationships. That's where a lot of our power is coming from. Fourth house deals with home and family. Virgo being the energy of service, helping people in your home and family, doing things for your home and family. We got to heal things in our home and family, directly or indirectly. I know a lot of us have exiled people in our families. Even indirectly be present and understand that you are here to cleanse a lineage, and realize that your whole life is retrograde, honestly, because, you know, no energy is created or destroyed, and we've been here before in different times and different spaces. So a lot of the energy that you were born into this realm with, like a lot of your family members, you've met them before, you've seen them before, you've interacted with them before, and so like your interactions with them now is in alignment with however you guys spent your lives before. Yeah, I got some unfinished business. Yeah, I got some unfinished business. So to wash your hands and walk away, you know, that's going to control how you spend your next life. So be careful with how y'all do that. Again, be careful with this social media stuff, man. The social media stuff is dangerous because you got, it's a lot of robot accounts out there that appear to be real people. And I'll tell you this. This was a couple years ago. A friend of mine, he's a spiritual DJ or whatever. He got his page got hacked. This brother sent me a video. It was a whole video of his face. I was looking at this man. Sent me a video and said, "Hey sis, how you doing? Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, okay. So I sent him like we were video chatting back and forth. So I didn't think nothing of it. Come to find out, his page was hacked. Those weren't videos. Those weren't him. The videos that I was, they weren't him. So that's how good, like, and that was a few years ago. We've gotten to the space where, you know, you can move your mouth to words, and the AI will do the rest to make the lip singing look legit, right? So we have to be careful with a lot of these pages online that's telling y'all, you know, how to operate spiritually. That's telling y'all how to operate as a community. That's telling y'all how to operate as sovereign people, as free people, as souls like that are God ordained to be here. Because a lot of these people out here don't mean you no well. They're there for their own personal gain. So you gotta check people's Mars energy. You know, look at their solar plexus chakra. You have the power to look at people's chakras. You gotta allow yourself to open that. I love doing it. This is what I do for a living. But you have the power to do that, and you can check people's will. Is your will in alignment with the will of the collective? If you see people arguing to be heard the whole time and all that stuff like that, most likely it's not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on their podium yelling at people. You know, you gotta let people, you know, live how they're gonna live. You know, everybody's sacral chakra is on different levels. Here you have different experiences. It is what it is. So Mars is, you know, looking for the justice and the balance and all that stuff in those realms. Bonds and contracts are here too for my sovereign folks. New beginnings in this space, being motivated to find new beginnings in that space as well. And the Vedic scales, Mars is in Virgo still being motivated to be of service and do things for other people. Mindset is still on because Mars also deals with intellect. It's the motivation and the intellect attached with that energy. So with Mars and Virgo energy, it's like, how are you being of service? How are you helping other people? What are you learning? What are you teaching? And this is in home and family. This is the maternal energy on the forefront. The mother is the teacher, right? You know, a lot of our goddesses are coming to the forefront, and I don't like to put pressure on my goddesses, but at the end of the day, this is our world. We gave birth to it. We are the ark. And so we are the ones that are responsible for providing education and edification. So if you want to go the route of aligning yourself with the education system that we have today, do that. If you want to align us, I personally, speaking on my personal experience, because I'm never going to tell nobody what to do. My personal experience is I homeschool my children, and I'm entering my children in different co-ops with other mothers. So in my world, in my reality, that's my Mars and Virgo. I'm the teacher to my sons. And yes, it is not difficult. It is very difficult, especially when you have other people, other energies working against you. I have some sneaky people in my life that are putting bugs in my children's ears, that are, doing little secret things behind curtains. It's not an easy task when you have other energies that feel entitled to move against you in that realm. So it is, I have to be intelligent about this. That's Mars energy, especially Mars and Virgo energy, about how I move about this. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's my example. You put whatever example you want to put up there. People been having back to school drives with the book bags. You'll see more food giveaway things happening. Now it's starting to get colder, coat drives, all those different things coming to the forefront with that Mars and Virgo energy. All right. Then we have in the Aries or the yin side, the internal side of the things, that's the internal fire that you have, the vestal fire inside of you, right? When you get really angry, that fire gets burnt. When you get really excited, motivated to do something, that fire is burning. When the fire is always burning. You got to be careful what you put in your gut, because that's the fire, right? And we know the gut controls the mind. That's where the Mars intellect comes from, right? So if you put in a bunch of stuff that makes your fire go out, that makes you sleepy, that's killing your fire. That's killing your solar plexus chakra. That whole itis stuff, that shit ain't cool. We don't want that. And then you want to put stuff into your fire that's making the fire live, because that's helping you live. Mars rules the blood circulation. So Aries, on the inside of things, you got Chiron happening over here with Aries and the true node. That's the north node. That's the direction we're going. We're going into the space of new beginnings in our wounds and how we transmute them into strengths. That's what Chiron is about. How are you transmuting your wounds into a strength? Again, I told you I don't like that trauma word. The word is challenges. You've been through some challenges. That's Saturn energy and the challenges, because a lot of our quote unquote traumas are from our root, right? That's why we do root work. That's why we do shadow work. It's in alignment with the Capricorn, Saturn, Aquarius energy, what happens in the dead set of winter when in the darkness, right? So we're dealing with that kind of energy here. And we're transmuting it, because it wasn't trauma. Those were challenges that you needed to experience in order to be where you're at and doing what you're doing. And that comes with a certain level of Mars intellect, the intellect of a warrior. Read The Art of War without emotional attachment. Go through life without emotional attachment to what's going on and just look at things for what it is. That's truth, right? When we start putting our emotions in it, now we're telling stories. And there's nothing wrong with telling stories. That's the beauty of us. We are artists. Being able to tell a story is what makes you an artist. And that's our gift here. That's what we can do here. That's why we have so many beautiful stories. It's when we start debating about the stories and we start going to war over the stories, that's when we get into the wrong about it. So Chiron wants us to transmute our weaknesses, transmute those wounds, transmute that word trauma into challenges, and be thankful that Saturn cared enough about us to give us the challenges that we need to be who we are today. You might have been on the earth for 5 years, 10 years, 12 years when you went through what you went through, but your soul ain't 5 years, 10 years, 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? You had to go through those things based upon what your soul was going through when it came through the portal. So it ain't about your human years or your earth years. I know we like to hold grudges with other souls in our space and say, oh, I was only this age. I was just a child. I was just a young adult. Yeah, but that's not true. That's not true. That's your story. Right? Because we know no energy is created destroyed. So ain't no way you was 2 years old. Ain't no way you was 5 years old. Ain't no way you was a teenager. You might have been on Earth in this condensed energy in those spaces, but that's not where we at when we talking about chakras. But with that level of knowledge, that should help you transmute your weaknesses and your wounds into a strength and bring it into the new beginnings. With that true note, Aries is the Xena warrior princess with it. You see the divine feminine infiltrating all realms, right? All realms. And new beginnings for the divine feminine Amazonian energy. um that Aries is giving black woman king, the woman king energy, seeing all these warrior women enter these different workspaces and natural spaces. And it's funny because you'll see certain people complain like, oh, why are y'all so angry? Why are y'all so angry? Spiritualism is supposed to be fun and light. No, it's not with this Aries. It's not supposed to be fun and fairy tales. If it was fun and fairy tales, we wouldn't be here to do what we got to do. Pluto wouldn't be in Capricorn Aquarius if it was supposed to be love, light, and fairy tales. Pluto would not be in the dead set in the middle of winter between Capricorn and Aquarius right now if it was supposed to be fun and adventures. Pluto rules over the solar plexus chakra. Pluto rules over the external side of the solar plexus chakra at that. So you got the light, the sun, the will sitting in the dead set of winter, right? Going through the solstice. Okay. So if it was supposed to be fairies and gumdrops and fucking all that stuff, then it Pluto wouldn't have been down there. Pluto would be up in Leo Cancer. Pluto would be in Venus Taurus. It'd be over there somewhere. That's not where we at right now. We're here for destruction and restructure and retribution, and it's not pretty and it's difficult. And it's a lot of warrior feminine energy that's being spread out, and we are angry, and it's in alignment with the cosmos. And it's okay to be angry. I see a lot of people smoking a lot of weed, and that's not doing well for your solar plexus chakra. I'm telling you. I know I triggered somebody when I said that, and that's okay. I know a lot of men that smoke weed 24/7, and you ask them why, and it's because I get angry a lot. You supposed to be angry, baby. Pluto is between Capricorn and Aquarius. You ain't supposed to be here comfortable and calm and high and doped up and drunk. You supposed to be angry right now and assisting in the retribution, assisting in the destruction and the rebirth. But because you're intoxicated with these foods, these beverages, the marijuana, the edibles, and all this stuff, you're too intoxicated to be truly in alignment with the netters. A lot of you guys are abusing yourself, and that's why your chakras are not fully functioning. That's why a lot of you guys are dealing with brain fog too. Remember, the gut rules the mind. You putting a lot of smoke inside of your gut, and it's going to your mind. So be careful with that. Be intentional with that. You know what I'm saying? The people around you, I know you don't want to be the one to speak up to your circle, but like be that person. Hey yo, we should probably stop smoking weed and just like be around each other sober real quick, and let's experience this anger so that we can really align our will how it's supposed to be aligned. We're not doing our job because we too docile. We doped up. We doped up. Um on the yang side, the external side of the solar plexus chakra, we got the psyche here. The mindset is on transformations. All of y'all want to reset. Y'all feel it. I want something different. I want to do something totally different. I don't want to do what I'm doing right now. Everybody's mindset is on this transformation energy. Everybody's mindset is on occultism. So, like, I see a lot of people complain, like, everybody's spiritual now. Everybody, da, da, da. You don't get to control that. We in alignment. If we all supposed to be in alignment with one and we all came down here with a purpose and with stuff to do, yeah, and it's going to be even more spiritual people and more and more and more. It's going to be more and more people that come into this community, and some of them ain't going to be shit. Some of them only coming into this community for their own personal gain. Some people coming into the community so they could tell you what to do. Some people coming into this community because they need help. Some people coming in here because this is their purpose and they really came here to do what they got to do because their will is in alignment with the will of the Most High. It's so many flavors in this community, but guess what? This community is going to keep growing and growing and growing, and that's the purpose. That's the purpose. It's transmuting. It's the transference. We're transferring from the mundane reality into the spiritual reality, right? However, not everybody is on the same level in the spiritual reality, just like everybody wasn't on the same level in the mundane reality. That's not up to you. You stand on your square and your spiral. You be true to yourself and what you're supposed to do. You stand on your post. Learn your Akashic records. Learn how to read your spiritual DNA. Go to some guides to help you, but really learn on your own too. Pay attention to the patterns in your life in alignment with the different alignments that are happening in the stars, and you'll be able to really see what's going on. That's really dope. I love it here. So, you pay attention to those different things that'll help you personally. And, a lot of people out here are projecting because this is where I'm at in my spiritual life. This is where you should be, da 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 da, this, that, and the third. And that's where they at. Leave them where they at. That's what they doing. That's not to reflect on the entire community. You're supposed to look at all the different facets in this space. It's eclectic. All right. And pay attention to your own personal, EMF. If you attracting a lot of nonsense, check yourself. Why am I attracting all this nonsense? What's going on with my energy? You're an electromagnetic being. Fine tune your magnet so you can evolve and attract better energy. You gotta let some of them people come out of your valence. It's like you walking around, you a walking atom, and you got some valence electrons, and you just letting any old body connect their electrons to your electrons, and you keeping people past their expiration date on your electrons. It's changing your whole makeup. It's changing your charge. It's changing all these things on you. Don't be in denial about that, And that's the psyche and the vertex pretty much in alignment together. Kind of explain that. So, and hey, y'all want to chat? How your solar plexus doing? How's your Mars and your Aries and Scorpio placements? I will admit, I'm a little scared of Scorpio a little bit. Let me tell you why. Because I'm a Virgo stellar. My Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus all in Virgo. So in the draconic chart, my Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus are all in Scorpio. So I'm entering my I just entered my 33rd year yesterday. So in this 33rd year on my progressive chart, my Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus are starting to line in Scorpio. So my draconic chart is waking up. And I just find that I don't know what it means. And then I'm over here in my Pluto placement in my astrocartography chart. And so my life over here has always been extreme. I've always labeled my my challenges as traumas over here because I've been through so much. But I have learned to use the word challenge instead. So it's changed my paradigm and the things that I've gone through. So now I can, loosely say, hey, I've been through these abuses, during these human stages in my life, and it was wild. But, because I went through those things, I can have certain conversations with people. I can empathize about certain things now. I can, I have certain levels of awareness and stuff like that. I can see certain telltales that other people might overlook because I went through certain things. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody expresses their abuses the same. So with all of this Scorpio Pluto energy aligning for me, I'm excited to get out of all that Libra energy because I was a people pleaser, a wet blanket. I did quiet my throat chakra a lot to keep peace. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited to get all this Libra stuff out of my chart. I'm excited to, move into my own space. Hey, thank you for finding me. We're talking about our solar plexus real quick before I move into the heart chakra. But yeah, let me know how your solar plexus is treating you. How that's been going for you. And I'll read y'all comments as y'all going in it. For those of you on Instagram, My phone finna die. So if you want to move on to YouTube, the YouTube page is Less Nobodies. And so here go the heart chakra space. And the heart chakra is ruled by Venus, of course. And so in this space, this is where we get our compassion, our empathy, forgiveness. This is where we go in spaces of wealth and pinnacles, business and love and stuff like that. Excuse me. And Venus was in retrograde up until what was that, like September 4th or whatever, the day before Jupiter went into retrograde. That's when Venus went stationary and went back prograde. So we had majority of August with Venus in retrograde going back through Leo, right? So now for the third time, we're going through Leo again. All right. And this is pretty cool to be revisiting different degrees with Venus and Leo for the third time. So, Leo rules over the external third eye energy. Leo is also dealing with the heart. The fifth house deals with your inner child energy. So basically you're a walking kid. Like you literally you were born in this realm. Your soul is your soul. Your inner child is the most connected to your soul. That's why you hear like the child is most connected to God, because the child has not been indoctrinated yet. So when you came through here, with your inner child energy, but the inner child go through stuff and the indoctrination. Oh, that's imagination play, and oh, you have such a great imagination. Oh, that's not realistic, and oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Blah 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 blah. You got all that stuff that the child goes through, especially in the public education system and with indoctrinated parents and peer pressure and entertainment business is being very influential, the government, all these different agreements placed upon you, and it removes you from your initial vibration. And the goal is to get back to your initial vibration that you shouldn't have lost to begin with, and hopefully teach your children to never lose that initial vibration. So they don't even have to go through what you're going through right now, trying to find your initial vibration and learn how to read your Akashic records and pay attention to your energy awareness so you can stay in control of your electromagnetic field and attract what you want to attract, which is what we call here manifestation and all those different things. So you want to make you want your children, you want the lineage after you, not even just your children, the kids in your neighborhood, you want them to circumvent all of that. Right? So as we go back through Venus and Leo for a third time, you get the third time to practice, really attracting what you want to attract. Your vibration is in alignment with your external third eye. Leo rules over the external third eye. That's the projecting of the inner child that's still inside of you. So, have that conversation with that inner child. Allow that inner child to project and be on the forefront and experience this reality with you, and allow that to control, your vibration, your electromagnetic field. Is really cool here, because it's your inner child that's supposed to have this experience. Not going to take that experience away from you, adult person, but you're the adult that your inner child summoned. You know what I'm saying? As a child, you were like, dang, I wish I had this person like this, and when I grow up, I'm going to be this, and I'm going to be like that. Da, da, da. So here you are. Are you embodying who your inner child needs? And if you're not, Venus is going through these degrees for a third time so you can get it right. Right? And I like that Venus is like straddling in between the left and the right third eye. So on the tropical and the thought, we are in the experience of the third eye in Leo. And then on the internal side, on the constellation side, we're in Cancer, which is the internal side of the third eye. So, we're going outward and inward with the Venusian energy and really paying attention to our vibrations and how it attracts what we need and what we want and stuff like that. Thank you. Thank you. I love making music. I love it here. I am a Virgo stellium, so like communication, throat chakra energy. I, I've been rapping since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I probably was rapping in all my previous lives too, because I feel like I invoke a lot of my old selves when I'm on stage. I really love it there. Um, so I appreciate you guys for seeing me and appreciating me. On the internal side of your heart chakra, your experiences, Taurus energy evolves around, your work ethic, on how you obtain and maintain your pentacles in your space of business, um your compassion, your forgiveness, your empathy, universal love, your self-esteem, and what your self-esteem is rooted in. That's all Taurian energy. That's all the experience of things, the internal designing, the internal eye of beauty and stuff like that. So we have Uranus and Jupiter here in retrograde, right? So Uranus and Jupiter are repeating degrees over here all the way up to the end of the year. I believe Jupiter is going to retrograde until December 31st. Uranus is going to retrograde until January 27th. So yeah, these two are very big influential planets because Jupiter is all about progressive change, like big pushes. You know, Uranus entered Taurus in March 2019, and by March 30th, we were in separation. We had to stay in our homes. You know, our bills were on pause. We were changing the way we vibrated towards one another. We attracted the things that we needed. It became more virtual and delivery service and all these different things, right? You know, another influx of spiritual awakening that created progressive change. We went from having maybe 5 or 6 different cryptocurrencies to like over 100, and then we went to a point where even countries started adopting cryptocurrencies. Now we have BRICS. Now we have people changing what influences their self-esteem. We had an influx of BBLs. Now that's changing. We had an influx of different kind of surgeries. That's all Taurus energy, right? We had an influx of them, and now we have people undoing surgeries, undoing these different things. They're, you know, utilizing their platform to talk to people about how I thought that I was supposed to do this, do that, whatever at such a young age, and now I'm maturing and I want to do all these things. So you have all these different things going on. All that is in alignment with Uranus and Taurus. You know, Uranus and Taurus will be in Taurus until 2026. So we got, you know, a good 3 more years here. It's up until April 26, 2026 specifically. So we have a few more years, you know, in this placement of this progressive change. So ain't no telling where we'll be at, you know, by the end of this, especially with the pentacles and what people see as beautiful and how people's work ethic, because now you got all these people, they don't want to work for nobody, and then you got all these businesses. So how the businesses gonna make money if the people that, you know, are people don't want to have a job? You know, there's an imbalance here. You know, who's the target audience now? Where are you going? You know, what are we doing with the money? Like, you know, what is money? Because if we keep it 100, we never experience money. We experience debt notes. All of this is debt and credit. Are we going to play the debt and credit game, or are we going to do away with that too? Uranus is so powerful. You have no idea where we're going to end up. I hope we end up beyond all of this, because it's time for us to go up to like the 8th, 9th dimension. I'm sick of this 3, 4 dimension shit. Jupiter is also here in retrograde. Jupiter has been here, you know, for since like December-ish. And Jupiter usually stays in a space for like 18 months or so. You know, different retrogrades do different things or whatever, what have you. And that's always exciting. Excuse me. I'm sick of this. Whatever this is that's trying to live with my body can go to hell. I do not like to feel off. And that's all going on in the inside of self. You know, Jupiter is the sacral chakra. So it's just like, what gives you optimism? You know, where is your optimism in this realm of Taurus energy? Be careful with that. I'm telling y'all, you know, people don't be watching their words when they feel like emotionally heightened. You know, it's when everybody's like really, really angry, you are going to attract what it is that you're speaking on. So like people get really, really angry and be like, I'll never find love. I'm always going to be alone. This isn't going to work. Da, 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 da. And you don't understand that you're really putting that in your vertex because your emotions are so heightened. You're open, you're vulnerable to attract them. Exactly what you're saying. So even in those spaces when you feel heavily disappointed or angry or offset or whatever, still speak life into what it is that you're asking for. You know, even if you got to cry or scream or be angry while you're doing it, you still want to speak into existence what it is that you're trying to attract rather than repel because out of, you know, that emotional outburst. It's not going to do you any justice having that kind of emotional outburst. You know what I'm saying? So be careful with that. Now, while all of that is going on the inside, what's going on the outside, get out of my face. Bugs have been like, oh my gosh. If the angels want to speak to me, find a different way. What the fuck? So on the outside of things, on the yang side of your heart chakra, we have a lot of, you know, celestial bodies here. You have Ceres here. Ceres is agriculture energy. So right now, finding we're in the balance, which is cool because Ceres being in Libra right now is fitting because we're about to enter the autumn equinox. So Libra energy is about balance scale. So we're about to have equal time of night and day before the sun, crosses that ecliptic and goes into descending node for the winter. And now we're gonna have, well, yeah, we're gonna have less daylight than we have nighttime. We're finally crossing that threshold, right? So Ceres is that agricultural energy. You follow Ceres if you're a farmer or a gardener, and that's basically telling us, hey, the equinox is happening. Ceres enters Scorpio. That's coming up, which is pretty exciting in October. Mars is in Libra. We talked about Mars being the solar plexus realm and being in a space of balance here with your solar plexus energy and justice and fairness. Also, bonds and contracts, new beginnings in those spaces for my sovereign folk, people into the legalities of things. Paying attention to different contracts that have and treaties and stuff that have been signed through time. Almaya and Maki Maki is in alignment with Leo and Cancer. So Maki Maki is like Leo. That's the masculine energy. That's the external side of the third eye. And Almaya is like Cancer energy. That's the internal side of the third eye. So you have that vision here in the Libra scales, creating that balance between your third eye and your vibration, your balance here. We want balance here in your inner and outer self. South node is here. So, the direction that we're coming from. And we're coming from Leo doesn't mean that coming from Libra doesn't mean we do away with Libra. We take the concepts that we've learned from Libra, the bonds, the contracts, the interpersonal relationships, the energy exchanges, the balance scales and the balance scales, how the pendulum swings. We're taking all that information and aligning it with Aries new beginnings. We want new beginnings in these spaces. So you don't have to completely wash away your south node. Find out where your personal south node is so that you can see what energy you're applying this Libra energy for. Like me personally, my south node is in Leo. So I'm finding balance in that Leo energy. And once I find the balance, that Libra energy over that Leo, I'm bringing it into Aquarian energy. Aquarian energy is in alignment with Aries, new beginnings in my Aquarius space, social awareness, social justice, social interaction, period. Because I'll pull a motherfucking hermit card in a minute, but also I know that I come from royalty in my, old DNA. And, and I fact checked this with other psychics. I used to go to a psychic church in Virginia. And, so I'm not like self-proclaimed, but even if I was, that's my story. But taking that energy of Leo, of the sun rising and setting on me, because when I was a child, my dad nicknamed me Worm. I know I was rotten. I know I came into this world spoiled, and I wanted everything on my time, how I wanted it. I'm a Leo rising, and my Jupiter is also in Leo, so like I need that shit. I'm fire. Like I love attention. Things gotta be on me. So coming from that seclusion, that throne, that sitting at the top of the pyramid while everybody is at the bottom, to coming into sitting at a round table, which is what Aquarian energy, a level of detachment happens there, and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So you check out your south and north node and apply it to the Libra Aries energy, and I'll help you where you need to be. Abundantia is the energy of abundance. It is here in Libra until October 10th. It has been here since August 2nd. Abundance is here in the spaces of balance. If you have been moving in a balanced realm and paying attention to those contracts and interpersonal relationships and building on the wealth of things and stuff like that, the abundance comes to you with where you're at. So if you in an abundance of people pleasing, it's going to be more people coming to take from you. If you in an abundance of being a people taker, it's going to be more people coming to you to coddle you. However, there's a weakness that comes with being coddled. I know a lot of y'all love to be surrounded by yes men and stuff like that, but it creates a lot of blind sides and Achilles heel for you. So when you in a space where you actually being challenged, you're over there in fetal position feeling like you being traumatized. Now you want to cut people off and you're so hurt, and that's that energy of when somebody disagree with you, your first instinct is to go back to your crowd of coddlers and get them to band together and pick up the pitchforks with you and stuff like that. Be mindful of that kind of energy. Now, the moon, we also start the week off with the moon here in Libra energy. Excuse me. Creating balance and fairness in the home and family. And your intuitive self is important. Palace is also here. Genius qualities that we be overlooking. We definitely be overlooking those bonds and contracts. We definitely overlook those strong interpersonal relationships because we be too busy looking at the toxic ones and letting the toxic ones create a ruler because we keep calling them traumas rather than challenges so that we can have better, stronger, healthier relationships. Again, reminding y'all, be careful how y'all speak things into existence when y'all energy is heightened, especially when you're in the realms of anger, hurt, or sadness. Don't dispel the ideal of having associations and relationships with people. You're doing yourself a disservice. Sappho is also here. This is how we captivate others. We want to be captivating in those realms of balance, fairness, and justice. I don't want to be around any more imbalanced relationships. Virgos love to attract projects. I love projects in my clientele. You want an energy awareness consultation? You want a reading from me? You want help? Da, da, da. I love that shit. Be my project. No more projects in my interpersonal relationships. Please, Jesus Christ. No more. You find out how you captivate others over there and see if that's still how you want to captivate others. You hear me? How have y'all been doing in your heart chakras? Like, especially with us, we had Venus prograde in Leo and Cancer season. Then we went in retrograde during Leo season, and now we're going prograde in Virgo season. So this is our third time going through these degrees. So for the third time going through these degrees, how have y'all been doing? Let me know in the chats. I'm here. Also, with those big retrogrades happening in the Taurus spaces, I know my 10th house is in Taurus, so a lot of transformations have been happening in that because I had always been career driven and education driven and stuff like that. So when Uranus hit Taurus, eventually I quit my job. I was working in the healthcare field. I was working my way up. I was doing the things that I wanted to do, especially with my psychology background. I was having a great fucking time. I really was having a great time. My paychecks was lit. I had a brand new car. I had all these things, and it was just like by the time April came around, Uranus was like, "Sis, I'm about to fuck it up. I'm about to fuck it up. I'm about to change your whole life. You ready?" And it's crazy because I'll read old journal articles. I'm a big diary person. I've had diaries ever since I was younger. And so reading old diary entries that I wrote while I was at work about how much work was in my way of what I felt like my purpose was, it was just like, ooh, thank you, Uranus. Because if you hadn't put me in those positions where I had to I really had my back up against the wall, being in this field and seeing up close and personal how these different things were affecting people, and it was really like pulling at my soul. I was not having a good time. But that was Uranus and Taurus for me, man. Touched my 10th house, crazy, and I really love where I'm at right now. So I'm grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it. All these planets and energies aligned in the same way at the same time every year, like this heart chakra chart. This time next year, this chart will be the same. No, it will not be the same. So you have planets going in different degrees. So like the retrogrades usually happen the same time every year, but they'll be happening in different degrees. And then you have certain planets that change every 30 to 60 days. And then you have some planets that change every couple of years, every 18 months. Then you have some planets that don't change for a few years. So, all of those different alignments change how the planets look every day. Like every day is another snowflake. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when we have phenomenons like, oh, okay, so like when I was born, the sun, moon, Mercury, and Venus were all in alignment. That didn't happen this year on September 19th. The sun, moon, Mercury, and Venus are not in the same place. I don't know when that's going to happen again. I gotta look into that. But like stuff like that, no, it doesn't happen the same time every year. Everybody has the same zodiac cycle. Like, of course, after Virgo is Libra, then it's Scorpio, then it's this and then it's that. It's just a matter of when is it going to enter that energy, and it happens at different times every year. Um, so now we're in the throat chakra. The throat chakra is like where you summon and invoke. This is your moral and integral code. How you listen, how you speak, how you teach, how you learn. All that energy is here. We know Mercury rules over the throat chakra energy. Patterns are also here too. We just finished experiencing a wonderful Mercury retrograde that went on from August 23rd to September 14th. We have one more Mercury retrograde left for 2023, and that's from December 13th to January 1st. That's the last retrograde for 2023. So mark your calendars for that so y'all can be ready. Because that one will be most likely in like Scorpio Sagittarius energy, and that's gonna be fun. Well, if we're in Virgo now, yeah. Like Scorpio Sagittarius energy will be in retrograde with Mercury there. So you want to check your Scorpio Sagittarius placements and see what that's hitting for when we reversing those degrees. That's gonna be interesting. I think that's gonna be fun to go through those three times the solar and sacral chakra. But for now, we're in the throat chakra. We're in the throat chakra and we're in the third eye chakra. So for a lot of y'all, I know that things have been coming to you easily. And this is why. Because your throat chakra is inside of your throat chakra on the tropical chart, and it's in your third eye chakra on the Vedic scale. Your third eye chakra rules your vibration. We talked about Leo being about your inner child that's projected, and that's the energy that's coming through the womb. And that's who you initially were, and that's the closest energy to God. So that third eye being on the Vedic in your vibration realms, you speak it, is happening. I say I'm hungry, somebody brings me a plate. It literally happens that fast. Like I'll be like, dang, I'm hungry, and I got a text message like, yo, you hungry? I'd be like, dang, I wish I had this, and they'd be like, here you go. Or like an opportunity comes my way, like, dang, I need some money, and then somebody hit me up like, I need a reading, or can I get that jewelry? Or like it always happens that way for me. I move in gratitude every time. That's essentially what's happening. Also paying attention to your patterns. Like we had Mercury go in retrograde in Virgo, and then it went back prograde in Virgo right before the Virgo new moon, which is the new moon before the harvest moon. So now we're in a space of renewal, and thinking about the retrograde that we experienced in August. Like, how did you like your patterns? What did you learn? What have you learned prior to the retrograde, and how is that affecting you, on a daily basis, your moral integral code? Mercury also rules over your daily routine and your health and wellness. Maybe there's some things that need to be, recalibrated, some different, habits that you got going on that need renewal, that need to be done a little different. And that's okay. We're going through these degrees of Virgo again for the third time to see, what can we change? What can we do different? What are some patterns that, we would like to experience a little differently, that we would like to have a different moral or integral code amongst them? How are we communicating? Do we like the way we're communicating? What's triggering certain communications to be what they are? What kind of energy are you invoking in your form of communication? I don't like to argue. So I've noticed different patterns with different people, during this retrograde and prograde and retrograde again. And so with that being said, I realized that certain conversations I just can't have with certain people. And I'm just not going to have them. And I'm okay with that because I have other people in my life to have those conversations with. I've seen certain patterns in my life that I didn't really care for, that I want to switch up. Also the voices in my head, how I speak to myself, how I love myself. I've gotten softer because I want to speak softer to myself. I come from a very harsh, human root chakra is, I've been abused, it was a lot of verbal abuse. So for years, that's how I would talk to myself in my head, very harshly. But, ever since, I want to say last year, I've been softening up how I communicate with myself. And so going through these retrogrades, I've seen different areas of improvement on how to speak to myself, how to give myself grace. Because when I was in retrograde, I went back to that mindset, that initial mindset I had before I started getting soft. Like, you see where you came from? You see where you came from? Like, I didn't even realize we were going to go back that far. Like, Jesus Christ, I healed this already. Like, no, I just want you to see where you came from so you can give yourself grace. Look at how much you've changed. And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I did. Let me give myself grace, because I don't give myself enough grace on a daily routine, and it is affecting my wellness, especially with my leg, how it is now. If I don't give myself grace, my legs start being crazy. Like, you ain't sit enough today. You didn't rest enough today. You didn't elevate enough today. You didn't meditate. You didn't stretch enough today. You didn't eat good enough foods today. Like, my leg is literally like an antenna for my throat chakra now. It's so wild. On the inside of the throat chakra, we have Gemini energy here. And that's like the intellect, right? That's the air energy that's going on in your head. Here, there, everywhere, time traveling, community associations, we have Setna here. And Setna being here is pretty cool. So this is an asteroid. And this asteroid rules over like the spiritual awareness of us as a collective. Now, Sedna has been in Taurus since 1966, and it entered in Gemini, a few months ago. It'll be in Gemini until 2066, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to be here. It stays the longest in Sagittarius, which is pretty interesting. Our spiritual awakening being in that energy of Tahuti, Obatala, and we know Obatala rules over the head. And the last time it was in Sagittarius, this is a fun fact, was from 1432 to 18 BC. And it has a 11,400 year cycle. So that's pretty interesting. And again, Sedna is all about, the spiritual awakening. So from 1966 to 2024, you got to think about it. 1960s was like the year of love, right? Business was booming in the 1960s. The concepts of wealth, took a little transformation in the 1960s. Familial structures started transmuting. Think about the 1950s and then think about the 1960s. That was a big transmutation happening in the heart chakra as a collective, how we love one another in our home and family, how we love one another in our communities, and unity and civil rights movements. That's compassion, right? All those things happening. The workforce was undergoing different transformations with Setna and Taurus. And Setna being Setna, we got one last year here, 2024, before, because Setna went into retrograde. So we might go back a little bit, back into Taurus, and then come 2024, we'll be right back in Gemini. So if you notice, we're going backwards in degrees. We're at a 0 degree 37, and by October 1st, we'll be at 0 degrees 27 latitude. So we're going backwards. And with it in Taurus, you notice like these past few years, there's been a lot of equal opposite energy on that love train. No new friends. Everybody's misusing each other, disrespecting each other, this, that, and the third. However, you do have those people that are aligning themselves with Mayat, that have done the work in the root chakra and the sacral chakra, etc., etc. And so their kundalinis are up here in alignment with Setna. And they're saying, hey, bring love back. We want love back. We want love, respect, honor, compassion, a moral and integral code that everyone can agree with. We want transparency and vulnerability back. People are collectively invoking this. This is all throat chakra energy. Whether you're invoking it through your thoughts, your words, writing it down, it's all invocation, right? So you see that a lot, and you'll see it a lot more, especially once Sedna really re-enters back into Taurus. You'll also see, past relationships come back into play. You're going to see, especially if you follow celebrities, you're going to see old relationships come together, and you're going to also see relationships that have been together come apart. All those, wow, you too, wow, this one's breaking up, wow, that's breaking. Yeah, a lot of that's going to happen when Setna goes back into Taurus. older people coming back together that haven't been together in a minute. You know, whether in your personal life, you being nosy in other people's lives, whatever, what have you. That's Setna and Taurus. And hopefully, when Setna goes back into Taurus, we can have a real conversation about how we love one another and removing a lot of these conditions as we align our moral and integral code of Mercury. So, you know, paying attention to, you know, when Mercury, especially when Mercury enters Libra scales, pay attention to how Mercury is, you know, intermingling with that heart chakra and the balance and harmony there with Setna being in Taurus, and have those conversations with self. Like, yo, like what is love? You know, what is love for me? Like, do I have to be sexually or sensually involved with this person to love them, to show them love? What how do you show someone love? How are you showing your community love? How are you showing your different demographics love? How are you showing your lineage love? How are you showing your self love? How are you showing, you know, the divine willpower and all of that matters. Have those real conversations with yourself. You know, recalibrate self, and if you want to get on your podium and say, "Hey, this is how I'm doing it. This is how it's been working for me," do that. But if you find yourself on the podium screaming at people to do what you're doing too, you want to go back to the drawing board. Go back. We missed some stuff there. Now, while all that's going on in the inside of things, on the outside of things, you know, you got Virgo here. Virgo is that energy of manifestation, materialization, agriculture, harvest, you know, being of service, thinking and being scheduling, self and time management, right? So while all those thoughts are going on inside of Gemini, you're time traveling and you're in the community and communicating on the outside of stuff is, what are we harvesting? What are we materializing? How are we giving, right? Our sun's experiences are here, and the sun just entered the Vedic Virgo energy on September 18th. See, I'm a Virgo on the tropical and on the Vedic scale. I'm a real Virgo, y'all. My moon is in Virgo on both sides too. But so yeah, for these next couple days up until the sun enters the Libra zodiac, we currently have the sun in Virgo on the tropical and Vedic scales for the next couple days. So, you know, a lot of overthinking coming into play. Be careful with that hermit card, because it's going to be a lot of energy that's going to want to push you into being in isolation and solitude. But this is not the time for that. It's time to learn how to be one amongst the collective. And yeah, that starts with being one. However, it's not being one by being by yourself. You know, share yourself, be vulnerable, you know, be open. As Senna goes back into Taurus, you're gonna feel yourself being drawn towards doing that anyway. You know, again, reconvening what is love, and if you have to be romantically involved with someone to feel love. And why does it always have to be outside of self anyway? You know, different questions, different things. Mercury is also near the sun. Also, the Mercury and Sun have a nice little relationship this month, with Mercury being at the longest elongation to Earth and being, you know, in what is it called, inferior conjunction with the Sun later on this month. All those different things with Mercury and the Sun is happening, and that's going to be really exciting to experience, you know, going back through our different patterns and our experience. As you know, sun rules over the ego and experiencing your interaction with masculine energy, and Mercury rules over your daily routine. So how are you interacting with things in your daily routine? Do you like it? Is it in alignment with the moral and integral code you wish to have? Like, who are you aspiring to be? And how are you invoking yourself to be that? How are you expressing yourself to be that? Are you comfortable with where you are? Or do you want to be somewhere else? Let's spiral there. You know, that's what the Sun and Mercury want you to come to terms with. So how are y'all feeling in y'all throat chakra? How is things coming to you as you invoke them? How is communication going for you guys? Do you see a pattern in your communication when you communicate with other people, when you communicate with yourself? How's the voices in your head been going? Have you been changing the way you've been talking to yourself about yourself and about other people around you? Let me know. Don't have me up here talking to myself. But last and most certainly not least, in the physical realm of chakras, we have the third eye chakra here, and we know the third eye chakra is ruled by, you know, the sun and the moon, which is your left and right side. We're dealing with Leo and Cancer, Mila, Yamoja, Makamaki, Almeida, these mother, father, internal, external. sun, moon, ego, and id. We have these polars here. And the third eye chakra is a little different because if you notice, all the other chakras are ruled by one planet. So it's balanced there because that one planet gets to be split into two. And then you get to determine how balanced you're going to allow the feminine to the masculine side of this planet be over this chakra, right? But up here in the third eye, it's two celestial bodies. So this is a very strong place. The central control system, right? The essence with CNS, the central nervous system, is very heavy. There's two big celestial bodies here. There is no celestial body being split into two on the masculine and feminine side. You have one celestial body that's masculine and one celestial body that's feminine. So starting on the feminine side, which is the moon, we started off the week with the moon being in Libra, finding balance there. That whole introduction I just gave you guys. And we're ending in October 1st. We ended off in Taurus. So we're going from the external heart chakra to the internal heart chakra, right? And that's pretty exciting. Over in the Yamoja side of things, this is where we align all SAR with all set, right? Because Osar is down there in the root chakra in Aquarius, and we have all set up here in Yamoja. So we have Vesta sitting here. This is your passion, their Vestral fire. So psychologically speaking, Vestral energy. Let me close out of Instagram before my phone dies in the middle of the video. So the Vestral fire, so when you have sex, there are certain like neurotransmitters that go off in your head, right? And so the Vestral fires is basically like these same neurotransmitters go off in your head when you're engaging in this type of, energy. So like being in alignment with your home and family, being tapped into your intuitive self, your meditative self, nourishing yourself, nurturing yourself, self-love and love of others, being nurturing to others. All of that is in alignment with the collective Vestral fires. It is making you feel good to be able to do that, put yourself out there and love yourself and love other people. And it does feel good to have your home and family intact. And if your home and family is not intact and you're not in alignment with your feminine energy, you could feel very much at a disarray right now because, that's the alignment of the collective. That's where the collective's experience is. So there's a lot of confusion here. This calls for, my gods and goddesses that, are in a leadership position, to help. Please reach out to someone if you find yourself in disalignment with your emotion energy, or you feel confusion or frustration or whatever. The universe has put these different guides here on this plane to assist ya in becoming more in alignment with your reality internally and externally, and aligning and finding balance in between the two. If you need help with that, please communicate those things, please, so that you can be helped, so that you can ultimately help others, along the pathway of your journey. Ashe. But find out where your Vesta is. Like my Vesta is in Gemini. I love talking. I love community. I like traveling. I do love traveling. I like teaching. I love learning. I love learning. I love teaching. When I was a kid, I used to play school all the time. And guess who was the teacher? And then my friends was like, you always want to play school. Yeah, because I'm a dork. The fuck? And look at me, grown ass woman playing school on YouTube. And I homeschool my kids. And I'm a teacher. I'm a substitute teacher. And I love it here. And I used to volunteer as a mentor and a tutor when I was in middle school and high school and college. Like this is my happy place. I love it. It does feel just as good as having sex. And you know what's crazy? So fun fact, when I'm dating men, never mind, I won't even go there. But like it is a Vestral fire energy that I give off, that my intellect, triggers to men, that women too, that are attracted to me, it's because of my Gemini energy. So I find that very intriguing and interesting, and I play around with my vegetable fires and all that fun stuff. But you find out where your Vesta is, where your passion is, and make that a part of your experience. Make that a part of the awareness of your depth of being and stuff like that. Connect yourself with the collective, with your vegetable energy. That's what you have to offer. That's what gets you going. Collectively, our ascending energy, which is our temperament. Your spiritual level is on the outside of self. So, like, when you walk into a room, you could feel someone's like spiritual level. It's becoming easier to speak your spiritual level prior to even, opening your mouth. And it's not so much as guess my sun sign, guess my moon sign, but just like, see, you just feel where someone's energy is. People can say that now, like, oh, the vibe was off, or I don't like this energy, or this isn't the energy for me, or that's the energy for me, or whatever, what have you. And then those are valid statements. We're collectively getting to a space where we can do that. I can feel your energy and I'm not feeling it. And I can feel your thoughts. You're not even around me. I had someone give me someone's phone number, and I just knew when the phone number was given to me, like, I'm not using this number. I could feel the energy already. This person doesn't not want to be contacted. And this is why I tell y'all, if y'all come to me for readings, be careful with y'all energy when y'all waiting for me. I've had people that were impatient the entire time I was doing their reading. I could feel the impatience, and I ended up messing up because I was rushing, or like I'm stumbling over my words, and I'm like, time is not linear for me when I'm doing readings. So I'll be telling people like, bro, breathe so I can get through this. Or like people who don't want a reading, but get a reading from me anyway. There's a block there. I could feel that wall. So, other people, feeling this in different ways. That's what's going on here. I think I've been getting better in the throat chakra. My singing has been getting better, probably the best it's ever been. It's really been fun, in tune with frequencies and experimenting vocally. That's good. That's good. Practicing the throat chakra, exercising it into the realms of art and stuff like that. That's good. That's definitely good. I was holding a bunch of crystals a couple days ago and started getting into a trance. I started letting out shrieks and chants, eyes rolling back. Something about that had my throat chakra going. Okay, so I would get into like what kind of what kind of stones you had, and like how they align with your throat chakra placements. Maybe you had some placements in your throat chakra in that Virgo, Gemini energy, or your Mercurian, placement, that some of those crystals align. Remember, like, you're like a walking atom, so you have these valence electrons, or you could look at yourself as like a chemical equation, the little hexagons that create the little honeycombs or whatever, and you aligned your chemical makeup with the chemical makeup of those crystals or whatever, and that did something for you to have that mediumistic trance type of experience, and you can manipulate that for yourself. Cool. On the external side of the third eye, while Vesta is on the inside, igniting your passions and stuff like that, Ordo Mila is on the external side, and that's the sun, and that the light. Let there be light. Light is reflecting, refracting, bouncing off of stuff and creating the images that we see outside of self, right? So we have Lilith over here being triggered by the things. And it can be good or bad triggers. It's not always like a negative thing, but Lilith deals with like the dark side of the moon. So it's like the dark side of your emotion energy, the side that you really don't show people because like in your mind, people don't want to deal with this kind of energy. You don't want to give off this kind of energy, etc., etc. So you expect other people to repress this energy about themselves too. Like you have some people that'll sit on their podium and say, hey, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do this. So like they're screaming their Lilith at you. I suppress this energy in myself because it's moral. So you should suppress this energy in yourself too. And if you don't, you're going to trigger me to yell about it. You're going to trigger me to make a subliminal message about it, or a subliminal sermon about it, or whatever. People are screaming their Lilith energy from the rooftop. And that's what a lot of you guys are experiencing. You're experiencing a lot of people projecting their Lilith on people. Like, I'm repressing this energy in myself, and I'm using self-control and that's that there because I'm suppressing this energy in myself. And this is my Lilith. You should adopt this energy as yourself too. You should suppress that about yourself too. Otherwise, you're triggering me and making me uncomfortable. And so we see that a lot. And especially, the way certain men see certain women in the entertainment business, also the way certain women see women in the entertainment business, or see certain men. Like, I personally, I don't judge. When I was in my 20s, I was not walking around with a bikini on, but I was definitely known for my, I wore little clothes. I don't like to wear clothes, honestly. I don't like clothes. So when I was in my 20s, I was almost naked all the time. I did drink. I was in the club. I was also in college though, but I was in the club. I was, I had hair, I had nails, I had my eyebrows, and it wasn't because my self esteem was low. It wasn't because I hated myself. It wasn't because I wanted to be another race or demographic. It was because that's what I wanted to do. Like, and I had a good time doing it. I love changing my hair. I love changing my nails. I love going places. I love wearing different fashions and stuff. It made me happy. It was my interaction with the external world around me. I'm a Leo rising, and I love my hair. Leos do not play around about their hair or their aesthetics. Never played about my aesthetics. I like to manipulate them. I like to pull the magician card on it. So, other people are utilizing their Lilith. Other people have been, indoctrinated, some people have indoctrinated themselves, but a lot of people have indoctrinated themselves through like a lot of books that were written by, people in our demographic from years ago, decades ago, centuries ago, you know, um, repressing people. You can't do this. You can't have that. You can't look like this. You can't carry yourself like that. You can't use these words. You can't, you can't, you can't. It's a lot of can'ts happening. So this person has utilized all of these indoctrinations and agreements that they, have allowed to impose upon themselves, and it's on their Lilith. And so when they see other people expressing their energy out there, whatever, it's triggering to their personal Lilith. So now, because I don't wear short skirts and shit, you shouldn't wear short skirts and shit, because my story, remember your story, my emotional connection to it is the short skirts mean that you're a Jezebel, and you don't deserve respect, and you deserve to be abused and disrespected, and you probably are, a single mother, and I think that single mothers are terrible, and da da da. Like, this person is spiraling onto their own indoctrinations and repressions and repulsions that are basically their Lilith energy. I repress this in myself, so y'all should repress it too. We're not doing that over here. We're not doing that over here. So with Lilith and Leo is pretty much a forewarning that you are literally experiencing other people vocalizing their Lilith in your experience. All right. And you see that a lot, especially like I see like a smaller but bigger example would be like traffic laws. I'm not allowed to use my phone when I'm driving, but I'll ride past the Lilith policy keepers or whatever you call them, and they'll be on full blown laptops while they're driving. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. That's some Lilith shit. 528 hertz is my actual evil eye protection or throat chakra. Definitely not hit by mistake. Cool. Lately, I've been on my 369 and my 963. My son's, he didn't care for that. He's a tourist. I got to figure out why he didn't care for that. But he was saying how like it sounded creepy to him. But for me, it was so like opening. It was interesting. Venus is also here with Lilith, so that also exclaims furthermore on eye of beauty and how people carry themselves in the hair and the aesthetics, and also people's relationship pursuits and pursuits of love and romance. As I'm speaking, I'm immediately thinking of people that are being force fed to us on social media with their relationship drama, and you're literally watching these people's Lilith, specifically speaking on the whole, I don't even want, they who will not be named, Blueface and Krishan. And I don't judge them. And I don't judge them because I was in my relationship for about 9, almost 10 years. From the time I was 19 until I was 29, I was in this relationship. So it's like to say, okay, you in your early 20s, you shouldn't be going through this. You shouldn't be having ups and downs in your relationship. You shouldn't be a single mother. You shouldn't da 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 da. It's like that's Lilith energy right there. To say that somebody shouldn't be going through these different like relationship things and stuff like that. And then knowing that when you were in their age bracket and their age group, you were going through your dusty relationship things too. That's a Lilith energy. And that's towards like Venusian energy. Also, work ethics is big here too. Some people don't like their work ethic. A lot of people overwork themselves. We come from a generation where people have been comfortable with overworking themselves and overdoing themselves and all that stuff. You never liked that. You always repress the fact that you wanted to be free and stuff like that. So here we have this generation of people who know their worth, know their energetic value, and they're like, hey, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, whatever. And so you're being triggered because you've been taught to repress that side of you that desires freedom and standing up for yourself and stuff. And so now you're telling these people, oh, you guys are just lazy. You're just this. Da, da, da. That's the alignment of Venus and Lilith again. Looking down on other people's familial structures. People's identities, because Venus also rules over the eyes, how you identify self, your self-esteem and self-awareness. All that. Juno is also here. Juno is the genius qualities that you overlook in yourself. No. I'm sorry. That's Pallas. Excuse me. Juno is what you need in a relationship in order to stay within it. So you have Juno and Venus actually a degree apart from each other starting the week off. And actually, they kind of stay a degree apart from each other. So moving forward, we are at conjunction minimal angle in this Leo energy between Juno and Venus. So a lot of you guys are coming to terms with like, what do you need in a relationship? What do you need in a bond? What do you need in a contract, an interpersonal relationship? Whether it be romantic, platonic, business centered, even your relationship with yourself and how you feel about yourself. What are some things that you need to stay in it, to want to be in it? Juno can get a bit obsessive. So it's like, what do I need in this to be obsessed? I want to be obsessed with me, right? So, that's all the energy there in that realm. It's a lot of obsessive energy here in Leo between Lilith, Venus, and Juno. A lot of it is going towards like, be honest with yourself. It's a lot of lack of honesty going on with self right here. And so the third eye calls for truth. Lilith calls for truth. As triggering as Lilith can be, Lilith tells you the truth about yourself when you start asking yourself questions and energy exchanges. What are my intentions? Why am I triggered? Why is this bothering me? What am I going to do with this trigger? What am I going to do with all this energy? Venus calls you to see things for the truth, the way it is. Juno is saying, hey, let's be honest with ourselves. What do we really need? What do we really require? You're not as easygoing as you think you are. You are way more complex. You were trying to be easygoing to go along and get along so you could be around other people, but you and I both know you watered yourself down to be around those people. You're way more complex than that. You have way more ideas than that. You're more spiritually evolved than that. You're more intelligent than that. You don't care about those things that they're talking about. You care about other things. And it's not about better or worse. It's just different. But you spent all this time watering yourself down and covering yourself and covering the dark side of your moon. You repressed that Lilith energy. And so your Venus, that Venus, that vibration is there. That vibration is going to start attracting triggers to your space. Maybe that's why we all keep seeing the same people on social media, these same, quote unquote celebrities we don't want to see, these, reality TV stars we don't want to see, because collectively we have been suppressing certain things about us. So to see these young people on social media actually living, even if it's a scripted art or scripted story, is being delivered as a truth, it can be very triggering to us because it is bringing out maybe some traumas we held in our hearts, in relationships where we watered ourselves down, in relationships where we allowed ourselves to be taken advantage of, different things like that, Hey. But that's all in the third eye vibes. Anybody want to talk about what's going on in your third eye? How have you been dealing with this Cancer Leo energy? Also knowing that, Venus and Juno both are straddling between both Leo Cancer energy. So you have, this heart chakra, this need for bonds and relationships. going on between your internal third eye and your external third eye. And a lot of times with that Venus and Juno, it can be, I won't say confused, because some of y'all do desire romantic companionship. It's about being honest with yourself about the kind of romantic companionship you want. I personally don't know what the fuck I want. Some days I want to be with one person. Some days I want to be by myself. Some days I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad I'm single because I could just talk to whoever I want whenever I feel like it. I don't know. But I don't want, I don't know what I want. It's so many terms and conditions. I want to just learn how to go with the flow of things and feel this relationship out and see, whatever. So, like, you know, pay attention to your Lilith placement, right? Because your Lilith placement, wherever that is, that's going to be in the forefront of your experience right now. Like, personally, my Lilith is in Sagittarius. So I'm getting triggered by a lot of sacral chakra energy, which I'm thoroughly enjoying because it's bringing me to a soft space. I'm really listening to what brings me joy, my creative and sensual self, and also, healing my sexual self as well. Like, what do I want sexually? Where am I at sexually? Like, I've never really paid attention to that because I've dealt with so many sexual challenges in my life. So to be in this space, I'm having a good time to a certain extent within reason. You find out where your Lilith is, and that'll give you a better conversation of, or a better realization of what's happening in your reality, what's happening under this Leo sun for you, and why you keep finding yourself triggered in different spaces. There's certain parts of you got to pay attention to. Venus is here with the vibrations, your attraction. You're attracting these things in your reality. Whatever it is that you want in your mind, you're going to attract it in your reality, says Venus and Juno, and your bonds and your relationships. That's what that's happening there. So your third eye goes up to your crown chakra. When we get to the crown chakra, we're dealing with the spiral in your head and how your aura comes out. So you do all the third and fourth dimension stuff and you're coming out, and this is the gateway in between the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, and we start aligning with the universe and all that fun stuff. And it's not associated with any type of physical body or anything, because now we get into the ethereal plane of things. So what I want to do is I want to take like a bit of a break. I'm going to play some affirmation music for y'all real quick, and we're going to come back and talk about the astronomical updates, and then I'm going to let y'all go. All right.
Sunshine Monet, with the affirmations to enjoy your day with. We gonna make this one short and sweet. It's day 15, y'all. I've been a lot of places, seen a lot of faces. Cloud on my ninth house, this one for the stages. I take pride in all of my spaces, earned all my praises, homeostasis. It's peace in all of these phases. I am the queen prototype, so pervasive. Infiltrating and I am replacing all these mosaics. I'm not the one to play with. I bring the hurricane, Oya on the brain. My Ogun do the same, my 3 times on my name. Your Moja put me in my position. It's my simulation. I project what's on my wish list. Fix your tongue to summon me in your vision. I'm the best algorithm that's ever been written. I open up tongue recognition. I am the best algorithm that's ever written. I told y'all this was gonna be short and sweet. Cause how many looks does it take? It's usually creation on the 3s, right? Ashe, even the owl knew it. Sunshine Monet.
with the affirmations
peace,
to enjoy your day with.
Sunshine Monet.
You are listening to Chakra Music.
I came through with intentions of destruction. You said you wanted freedom, well, it's me then that you wanted. I moved in gratitude as my soul is being summoned. The consciousness has returned, Christ is really coming. I make these flows for the souls that drift in indigo. I make some goals for they glow since they was embryos. Access the records, they lectures, keep your principles. Enemies infect you, don't let them reach your pinnacles. Reversing curses that's embedded in religion. They wound up in your soul, that's why you feel tension. I'm remixing the clenches before Sumerians existed. It's something in the water, don't get caught, you'll get acidic. I bury enemies, pay pinnacles to the witness. You say my name in threes, I appear in your vision. Write Iliads in me, I'm the witcher in your system. Silly as can be, there's no opposite in infinite. I'm the goddess of crossroads, touching all directions. With the skull and crossbones that cause to the vexes. I applaud the protectors, I'm the god of inflection. They see the demon in me and still pause the respecters. I need no translation, vibrating from universe. My throat mansplaining while my yoni do the work. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts. Mask off, crowns on, bombshell on all the arts.
Enoch 7 prophet, move like the full winds do. My energy is useful, my thoughts are old school, so I move with a Bob Slim. Say I'm sexy, haircut like Anita Baker, real lovely. Caught up in the rapture, it's kind of risque. Kisses and faces on public is real frisky. Touche.
You are listening to Chakra Music.
Mask off.
David. It's day 11, y'all. Ain't no half stepping. I serve one master of self, circle 7 filters past the spirituality is unhermetic. To this Asiatic healing's a daily habit. My art replaces this enthusiastic, and I'm so ecstatic. Rhymes on illmatic, and I provide with my third eye. Thoughts that have your own vibes, that's magnetic. I am so dope, my high gets you open on honesty, integrity, and some hosting. 369 hertz up in your motion. Third eye be so omnipotent. No chakra be on invoking. Angelic be on some choking. Enforcing divine law. What I'm saying is retribution is approaching. Blah blah coming, y'all.
Sunshine Monet, ayy. With the affirmations to enjoy your day with. We on day 5, y'all. I set me free, I'm the lock in the key. I be the peace in the chaos complete. I change the beat and the patterns repeat. And the stars in the scene and the dirt at my feet. I bring the motivation and I give the static. I want it all and she's got to have it. I be going spastic, creating all the classics. Straight from Jersey, all paper, no plastic. No roof like that, cause I'm smooth like that. Yeah, I zoom like that, cause I move like that. And I cruise like that, with the tunes like that. I bring the peace, cause I'm the lock in the key. Hey yo, it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, my star seeds aligning. Hey yo, it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, my star seeds aligning. Hey yo, it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, our star seeds aligning. We build in constellations, cybernations, as above, so below, repeating Galatians. Cause it's nothing new under the sun, hitting us with ultraviolence. I enjoy the sightings, I absorb the waves, and they come to me in violent dragon breaths. I absorb into my conscience. I am influential, I have my potential. I I am determined and I have my discernment. I am the beginning and I am the end. I embrace my gains, gratitude for my wins. I love to transport about my mind. I keep my cool as the sun shines. Hey, I am the star seed, destined to skyrocket. I am expanded, enchanted in all my knowledge. Dragging breath up my spine, that's respirational guidance. My chakras start turning, my mantras are my sermon. I feel my energies align, my kundalini's on the rise. Dragon breaths, they bring the insight. Ayy. So you know it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, my star seeds aligning. Hey yo, it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, my star seeds aligning. Hey yo, it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, my star seeds aligning. Hey yo, it's peaceful, shining to your kundalini's rising, my star seeds aligning.
These are the days of our lives. I'm cool, I'm fine. These are the days of our lives. I'm cool, I'm fine. I'm divine and alive. I'm cool, I'm fine. These are the days of our lives. I'm cool, I'm fine. I'm divine and alive.
I am intentional, I am anew, I am for eternals. I am the healer, I am the ethers of Island Turtle. Worry about you, post the lies, keep it in your journals. As I evolve high self in charge, you create no hurdles. I don't need your energy, bless those that try to hinder me, enter me. And you know I'm doing just fine. I don't need your energy, bless those that try to hinder me, enter me. And you know I'm doing just fine.
I'm just tired of eating whole wings. I'm just ready to do my own thing. Ain't nobody worried about pull me. I just gotta think big and grow me. Yeah, I'm cool, I'm fine. These are the days of our lives. I'm cool, I'm fine. I'm divine and alive. I'm cool, I'm fine. Yeah, these are the days of our lives. I'm cool, I'm fine. I'm just fine and alive.
I'm back. So we about to enter the autumn equinox, y'all, on September 23rd. It's gonna be a great time because not only do we enter the autumn equinox, but the sun will also be entering the Libra zodiac energy. But don't forget, we just entered in the Virgo constellation on September 18th. So we're gonna get started with September 18th. That was this Monday. That was Monday. That was yesterday. No, day before yesterday. I ain't go to sleep yet. But we started off with a 10% waxing crescent moon, as we did have our new moon energy on September 16th. That was the Virgo new moon. That was the same time that Mercury went stationary prior to going prograde on September 15th. Earlier that week on September 4th, we had Venus going stationary to go prograde, and we had Jupiter going stationary to go retrograde the very next day. Actually, no, I'm sorry. September 3rd is when Venus went prograde, and then September 4th is when Jupiter went retrograde. So we had that switch off happening in our heart and our sacral chakra, and then we had that switch off happening in our throat chakra and third eye chakra with the Mercury and Virgo moon energy. So a lot of patterns going into space there, a lot of moving back and forth, especially to my earth energies out there, I took some naps. Tried to slow myself down and give myself grace because I'm mutable, but takes a little energy for me to get into transitions with things. So starting September 18th, we had the 10% waxing crescent moon in Libra energy, the sun rising at 6:43 a.m. and setting at 7:03 p.m. We're getting earlier and earlier evenings, y'all. Venus reached its max brightness at 8:07 a.m. Neptune was the smallest distance to the Earth at 10:38 a.m. and Neptune was at its max brightness at 12:30 p.m. The International Space Station was visible from 8:09 to 8:17 p.m. and then 9:47 p.m. to 9:50 p.m. in Earth's major constellation. The Moon and Zubin al-Janubi were in minimal angle at 5:42 a.m. Conjunction was at 6:54 a.m. and the Moon was 2.4 degrees south southwest. Evening visibility of Uranus began on Monday as well, and the occultation, which is kind of like an eclipse but without the actual sun and moon. So it was an occultation of Ganymede, which is a moon on Jupiter in alignment with Jupiter, and that happened around 12:30 a.m. It was visible for about an hour, and you could also have found Pleiades about 1.5 fists at arm's length. So you stick your arms all the way out and do your fist 1.5 fist length. You would have been able to see Capella, and then 3/5 to the left. 3/5 to the left, you would have seen Aldebaran. And then the sun also entered Virgo constellation around 11 p.m. on the 18th. September 19th, we started the day off with a 16% waxing crescent moon. The moon was rising at 11:13 a.m. and setting at 9:10 p.m. We are now in the zodiac Scorpio with the energy of our moon, which is solar plexus energy, transformations, aligning our willpower energy happening here. The sun rising at 6:43 a.m. and setting at 7:01 p.m. Neptune was opposite the sun today because Neptune is in Pisces. So with the sun now entering the cardinal energy of Virgo, it is now opposite the Piscean spaces. So we have Neptune in opposition. Soon we will have Saturn in opposition. Opposition energy gives off they move in like a flow, like a wand, if you will. You can make it happen, aligning one with the other, creating a straight line there, a pathway there. So you have Neptune in that realm of your subconscious and your dreams and hidden agendas, and a lot of that showing in alignment with the sun, which is your external experiences and stuff like that. That happened at 8:23 p.m. and it was the best visibility of the year for Neptune. The International Space Station was visible from 8:59 p.m. to 9:04 p.m. in the Ursa Major constellation. Algol, the star, is making its way to the northern skies. Its minimal brightness in Perseus constellation. September 20th, we're starting the day off at a 24% waxing crescent moon, the moon rising at 12:21 p.m. and setting at 9:45 p.m. We are still in the Scorpio zodiac, the solar plexus energy with it. The sun rising at 6:44 a.m. and setting at 7 p.m. We lose like 2 minutes. The moon and Shuba are minimal angle at 1:18 p.m. The moon is 1.8 degrees south southwest. At 3:20 p.m., the moon is 2 degrees south, visible at 7:38 p.m. with a 3 degrees south southwest separation. Then the moon is in Graphias. The conjunction occurs at 6:43 p.m. The moon is 5.3 degrees south, minimal angle at 12:56 p.m. with the moon 4.8 degrees south southwest. We will be able to observe that at 7:46 p.m. with a 5.4 degree south separation. And then we have the moon moving into Antares. That conjunction is at 4:43 a.m. with the moon 0.6 degrees north, minimal angle at 4:58 a.m. The moon 0.6 degrees northeast, and we'll be able to observe that at 9:18 p.m. with a 4.5 degree west northwest separation. So those three stars are going through the Libra Scorpius constellation. So Graphias is the star of Mars and Saturn type energy. Is located at the claws of Scorpio energy, and that is pretty much self-explanatory. Attack energy, protection, moving forward. Mars and Saturn is the energy of challenges and military type energy. And then we have the Shuba energy is also Mars and Saturn energy. This deals with assault and immorality and shamelessness. It also improves misfortune. This is located at the head of the Scorpion. And then we have what was it? Shuba, Graphias, and Aries. So Aries is a red and green star. This is located at the heart of the Scorpion, and this gives off Mars and Jupiter. So we start to soften up a little bit. We move from Saturn into Jupiter, finally move into the sacral chakra. So it's like, hey, you made it through the storm. Now we're gonna give you your little award. And then the fact that it happens all in the same night is pretty interesting because, like in a previous planetary forecast, if you notice the pattern, the moon usually aligns with these stars like over the course of like 2-3 days. So for the moon to align with all three of these stars like over the course of one night, it's going to be pretty interesting night for you guys, especially if you interact with Scorpios in the manners that I do. I have a lot of Scorpios in my close family and friendships. The International Space Station will be visible from 8:11 p.m. to 8:18 p.m. and then again from 9:49 p.m. to 9:51 p.m. in the Earth's major constellation. And this time of the year, the Little Dipper in the north dumps into the Big Dipper, and the spring and the Big Dipper dump. Oh yeah, and then in the spring, the Big Dipper dumps it back because then the Big Dipper moves north. And then also the draconic chart, which is, in alignment with our Vedic chart right now, with the North Node being in Aries and the South Node being in Libra. So the draconic sun enters into the Virgo constellation around 11 p.m. on September 20th. So that's something to look out for too. I think it's cool that our chart is starting to get in alignment with the draconic chart because draconic chart deals with the spiritual energy and the emotions of everything. So it's kind of like waking up. That's also in alignment with setting up being a Gemini. We talked about the spiritual awakening being in Gemini energy of the community and communication and our intellectual self and stuff like that. So cool. Speaking of Gemini and intellect and knowledge and spiritual awakening, I have a wonderful brother that's about to align with us. This is the first time I'm having a guest on Planetary Forecast. So like lucky person. So I'm gonna bring knowledge onto the stage. Hola. Peace.
Peace, peace. Can you hear me, God?
Yep.
Okay. Peace. Islam. Salam alaikum. It's your God day. Okay. You was born on the knowledge born day, so it's like it just makes sense,
It makes sense, right?
right? And you bum rush me on my God day, so I'm bum rushing you on yours. Only
I'll
for a
take
little
it.
bit because everything that you're doing and offering is so phenomenal. This is a transformative space from the metaphysical to the material. She is the conduit. She is the mother. She is the greatest portal for your
Well,
thoughts, for your ideas, for your upgrades, for your blessings. She is all of the above. So I wanted to give one of them Virgo season shout outs, okay, in my
I
Gemini
appreciate it.
fashion. So it's perfect and it's extra, okay? You see what I'm saying? It's perfectly extra. It's the right combo, you know?
I'll take
Um,
it. I love my
so,
compliments. We gotta have my man's on the next flatter battle.
hey, I'm taking home the belt.
For real.
But I'm gonna get out of your way. I appreciate you. You working and you doing what you love on the day that you personify love in the physical world.
Haha. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming through.
Word.
I
Peace,
appreciate your
God.
knowledge. Peace. I love knowledge. Good peoples. This is the moon. And so you see Graphias up here in the claws. Then you see the Shuba happening over here. And because that's where we started. We started at the Shuba. So we start here and then we move our way to Graphics. And then we move our way to Aries, which is the head. And that's when we start to get into the Jupiter energy. So that's what we have on the moon on the 20th. Now on the 21st, we start the day off with a 34% waxing crescent moon. So waxing is in a space of building. So when we're in waxing crescent energy, we're in a space of like building on the intangible things like mindsets, habits, thought processes, emotional patterns, all the intangible things. The moon rises at 1:30 p.m. and setting at 10:29 p.m. Now we're in the Sagittarius zodiac energy. So now we're in our sacral chakra, the external side of our sacral chakra with our intuition and our thought self, aligning that energy. We know Sagittarian energy is in alignment with Tahuti, getting knowledge from the oracle and the sage energy. So a lot of downloads happening in this realm as well. But also having a mindset on what brings you joy, what gives you like that optimistic spirit. Sagittarian energy is associated with like that Christmas spirit, is associated with Obatala, which also is in alignment with Sagittarian energy. The sun rising at 6:45 a.m. and setting at 6:58 p.m. Epsilon Perseus reached the end of their activity, and that is the meteor shower in the Perseus constellation. The west side of the moon, which is crater Grimaldi, is tipped into view at 6:48 a.m. And the International Space Station is visible from 7:25 to 7:32 p.m. and then again at 9:01 p.m. to 9:05 p.m. in the Ursa Major constellation. Now, September 22nd, we start off the day at a 43 waxing crescent moon. So let a moon of building on intangible things in our space. The moon rising at 2:36 p.m. and setting at 11:24 p.m. We are aligning this energy within to the Sagittarius zodiac energy still. So we're still in that space of the sacral chakra, the knowledge, the downloads, the building on the intangible things that those experiences are bringing us. The sun rising at 6:46 a.m. and setting at 6:56 p.m. Mercury has the longest elongation, which is the distance from the sun at 9:36 a.m. Cool numbers, right? I just got done saying I listened to the 9:36 vibrations, right? And I'm a Virgo. Mercury. I love divine alignments. But that's at 9:36 a.m. So I'll probably be trying to listen to those vibrations at that time. I'll see what happens. The best visibility is in the AM, and Mercury will be 18 degrees west northwest from the sun at 6:20, 12 degrees in the east, and Leo on the lion's back. So that's where it's located on the constellation. The first quarter moon rises at 3:33 p.m. Love those numbers with the first quarter moon. So now we're in the midway in between um building the intangible, and now we're moving into the tangible items that we're going to be building on into our space. So like, start making things. The International Space Station is visible around 8:13 p.m. to 8:19 p.m. and then again at 9:50 to 9:52 p.m. in the Canis Venatici constellation. The moon of Cos Borealis will be in conjunction at 4:32 a.m. The moon is 3.1 degrees south, minimal angle at 4:55 a.m. The moon is 3.1 degrees south, and we'll be able to observe that at 11:05 p.m. with a 4.9 degree west separation. So Cos Borealis is a star in the Sagittarius constellation. It gives off the energy of Jupiter and Mars. So we went from what was that, Aries energy, which is Jupiter and Mars as well. So we're still in that Mars and Jupiter type energy we're flowing into. So Mars is that energy of ambition, but it could also be anger. It could be like an overactive, underactive, or neutral. Neutral is always good. We love balance. Balance is key in all of these things. So you have that, and you have the sacral chakra. So you being motivated towards doing things that you like to do. Sensual, sexual energy can also be on the forefront here, especially for my fire or my oh no, they're both fire, especially for my fire babies. The moon is at max declination in the cycle at 11:33 p.m. Fall begins in the northern hemisphere at 2:50 a.m. and this is when the sun crosses the equator and starts heading south. So then we start having less daytime. Deneb begins to take Vegas's place at the zenith star. So zenith is just the pole. So the North Pole star is about to be Deneb Algeldi. And Deneb Algeldi is a star in the Capricorn constellation, and it gives off the energy of Saturn and Jupiter, which is really good for business. So this is a good time for business being on the forefront of things if you like working it correctly. Also in alignment with finding discipline and order to the things that make you feel joy and stuff like that is on the forefront, because we're switching seasons here. So it's kind of like, okay, now the the discipline and order and the boundaries and the things that we're doing and stuff like that and engaging into, that has to change. September 23rd, we start the day off with a 54 waxing gibbous moon. So now we're in the moon of building on tangible things in our space. We're starting to create. Earlier, you were building on the intangible, the thoughts and the habits and stuff like that. So now you're going to start accumulating the things and the interactions and the external, experiences, stuff that are necessary for those internal thoughts and processes you were building on to occur. So there's no set time for the setting, but the rise is at 3:36 p.m. We are in the Capricorn zodiac energy with it. So now we're in the, we start off building in the root chakra of things. The sun rising at 6:47 a.m. and setting at 6:55 p.m. The autumn equinox is at 2:51 a.m. This is when the sun crosses the celestial equator. Day and night has the same length. Mercury is the smallest distance to the sun at 2:02 p.m. The moon and Albalda are in conjunction at 7:32 p.m. The moon is 7.6 degrees south. Albalda is a star in the Sagittarius constellation, is located at the back head of the Archer. This gives off the energy of harvest, gain, buildings, and traveling, which is good because we're about to enter the harvest moon. The International Space Station is visible from 7:24 to 7:23 p.m. to 7:33 p.m. I'm sorry, and then again at 9:02 p.m. to 9:06 p.m. And the Earth's a major constellation. And then the Sun enters the Libra zodiac energy around 11:30 p.m. So balanced energy is in order, especially as we come into the equinox and we're moving from the summertime into autumn. So now we're coming into like a equal energy of hot and cold happening here before we go to the opposite end of the pole with the solstice. So September 24th, we start the day off with a 66% waxing gibbous moon, excuse me. The moon rising at 4:27 p.m. and setting at 12:30 a.m. We're in the Capricorn zodiac with it. 6:48 a.m. is the sunrise. The sunset happening at 6:53 p.m. The north pole of the moon is tipped into view at 11:43 a.m. The International Space Station is visible from 8:14 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. and then again from 9:51 p.m. to 9:53 p.m. And the Earth's a major constellation. The moon and Pluto are at minimal angle at 1:44 p.m. The moon will be 3.2 degrees south. Conjunction happening at 1:26 p.m. The moon will be 3.2 degrees south. And we'll be able to observe that at 8:24 p.m. with a 4.4 degrees southeast separation. So that's all happening in Capricorn because Pluto is in the Capricorn constellation and zodiac. So with the moon being there, you have, your experiences being on those realms of transformation and your root chakra and your infrastructure. And who is your authority? Transformations. Happy transformations, y'all. September 25th. We start off the day at a 77% waxing gibbous moon. The moon rising at 5:09 p.m. and setting at 1:45 a.m. We are in the Aquarius energy with it now. The sun rising at 6:49 a.m. and setting at 6:51 p.m. The International Space Station is visible from 7:26 p.m. to 7:33 p.m. and then again at 9:03 to 9:06 p.m. and the Earth's a major constellation. The lunar terminator, which is the line between the dark side and the light side of the moon, falls beyond the western rim of Mare Imbrium, showing the Sea of Rains, which is northwest quadrant of the moon's Earth-facing hemisphere. So we'll be able to see, that's the sun crossing over the line. So now that the terminator has moved over, we'll be able to see this big old crater that covers like a big chunk of the moon. September 26th, we'll start off the day with a 86% waxing gibbous moon. The moon rising at 5:43 p.m. and setting at 3:04 a.m. We are in the Aquarius energy with it. The sun rising at 6:50 a.m. and setting at 6:50 p.m. So while, in the tropical chart, we had our equinox, a couple days ahead of time. In the Vedic realms of things, well, in the watch time realms of things, we are getting the equal daylight and sunlight at 6:50. So it's two different, realms because we have like a degree, like a big degree difference between the tropical and Vedic placements, right? So the sun crosses the equator way before the watch time catches up with the equinox. That in a nutshell. So the watch time is actually equal on the 26th. We are going to be experiencing the AM visibility of the moon, so you'll be able to see the moon in the daytime. The moon and Deneb al-Jodi will be in conjunction at 9:35 a.m. The moon will be 2.4 degrees south. Minimal angle at 10:28 a.m. The moon will be 2.3 degrees south southeast, and we'll be able to observe that at 2:48 a.m. with a 6.2 degree southwest separation. Now, Deneb Al Jodi is a star in the Capricorn constellation. It gives off the energy of Saturn and Jupiter, coming back to the energy of business, aligning the root chakra with the sacral chakra, finding discipline and order, in alignment with the oracle and sage energy, finding discipline and order in the subconscious realm and stuff like that. We go back to the story of Olukun and the chains that were put on Olukun by Obatala, the spirit being within the firmament, condensing and being within, and how that creates a nice balance that you need as you go into your heart chakra, right? The International Space Station is visible from 8:15 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. and then again from 9:52 p.m. to 9:53 p.m. in the Ursa Major constellation. The Moon and Saturn are conjunction at 8:46 p.m. The Moon will be 3.6 degrees south, because Saturn is still in the Aquarius constellation, even though it's in the Pisces zodiac. So 26. Yeah, this is the Moon and Saturn together. September 27th, we start off the day with a 93% waxing gibbous moon and moon rising at 6:12 p.m. and setting at 4:24 a.m. We're in the Pisces energy with it. The sun rises at 6:51 a.m. and setting at 6:48 p.m. The moon and Saturn are at minimal angle at 1:16 a.m. The moon will be 3 degrees southeast. The International Space Station is visible from 7:27 p.m. to 7:34 p.m. and then again at 9:04 p.m. to 9:07 p.m. in the Ursa Major and the Canis Venatici constellations. The moon is the smallest distance to the Earth at 9:12 p.m. So you're going to have a nice big moon there at 93%. And then, by the time then, it should be around like 96% or so. The second largest globular clusters, 47 Tuc, will be at midheaven around midnight. And then September 28th, we'll start the day off at a 98% waxing gibbous moon, the moon rising at 6:38 p.m. and setting at 5:42 a.m. We're in the Pisces energy with it. The sun rising at 6:52 a.m. and setting at 6:46 p.m. Vesta is at best AM visibility between Castor's feet and Orion's hands. If you want to catch that star of desires and passions. Pisces is opposite the sun at 3:55 p.m. This is the best visibility of the year, and transits at midnight. So Pisces constellation is opposite the sun that's in the Virgo constellation at the moment. So those two are working in alignment right now and on the forefront of aligning the throat chakra with your subconscious and your sacral chakra. The moon and Neptune are at minimal angle at 1:42 p.m. The moon is 1.9 degrees south-southeast. The moon and Neptune are at conjunction at 12:47 p.m. The moon will be 2.1 degrees south. We'll be able to observe that at 8:02 p.m. with a 4.6 east separation. And you know what else is cool about the Pisces and the sun? It's a really good time to invoke what you want subconsciously, and it's a good time to invoke what makes you feel good. And this is and it's also in alignment with the fact that we are entering the harvest season, which is the energy of intentions, and we're falling into a lot of that harvest season energy, the harvest moon, the autumn equinox, coming into, Hallows Eve and the veil being thin around that time. And then we're coming into an annular solar eclipse and a partial lunar eclipse in October on the 14th and the 28th. So just a lot of energy towards setting intentions and harvesting what you wish to gain. And as we get rid of the things we know that no longer serve us under the solstice energy in the wanting phase of ourselves, when we come back into waxing into the spring and summer, we'll be building what we harvest around this time of year. So be very intentional about what you want, because, it's what you're going to get. September 29th, we start off the day with a 100% waxing gibbous moon. So now we're finally at the full moon. The moon rising at 7:04 p.m. and setting at 6:58 a.m. We are in the Aries energy with it. The sun rising at 6:53 a.m. and setting at 6:55 p.m. The full moon is at 5:58 a.m. The earth is between the moon and the sun. This is also a super moon. This is the last super moon of the year. This is also called the harvest moon, the corn moon, and the barley moon. September 30th, we start off the day at a 99% wanting gibbous moon. So now we're in the moon of cleansing the tangible things that no longer serve us. The moon rising at 7:30 p.m. and setting at 8:14 a.m. Some of the things that you built on didn't work for you, and it's okay to go back to the drawing board and erase some of those things and move forward. The sun rising at 6:54 a.m. and setting at 6:43 p.m. The moon will be on ascending node and the latitude is 0 and increasing at 1:06 p.m. So the moon will start moving further and further away. October 1st, we are at 96% wanting gibbous moon. The moon rising at 7:58 p.m. and setting at 9:29 a.m. We are in the Taurus zodiac energy with it. The sun rising at 6:58 a.m. and setting at 6:42 p.m. The moon and Jupiter at minimal angle at 8:14 p.m. The moon will be 2.3 degrees north-northwest, conjunction at 9:58 p.m. The moon will be 2.5 degrees north, and we'll be able to observe that at 8:34 p.m. with a 2.3 degree north-northwest separation. So you have the moon and sitting in the sacral chakra. Then Mars and Spica will be in conjunction at 9:10 p.m. Mars is 2.6 degrees north. Spica is a star in the Virgo constellation. This is actually one of the brightest stars. I think it is the brightest star in the constellation. And this is the energy of harvesting and gain. So you'll be motivated to make your harvesting decisions on October 1st, especially as you look at all the celestial events that are happening during the month of October, all the meteor showers, the eclipses, Halloween, all that, and just coming out of the harvest moon. You'll really be set on that. Asteroid 29, Amphitrite, will be well placed, which is kind of like midheaven in the Pisces constellation. So it'll be above us, above the horizon during the night. And the highest point will be at midnight. October 2nd, we'll be starting the day off at a 91% wanting gibbous moon, in the moon of cleansing those tangible things. Moon rising at 8:31 p.m. and setting at 10:44 a.m. We are in the Taurus energy with it. The sun rising at 6:56 a.m. and setting at 6:40 p.m. The activity of the Orionids from the Orion belt, which is a meteor shower, begins. Maximum activity is on October 21st. They move at 25 an hour, so that's pretty cool. You have a pretty good chance of seeing them if you go somewhere dark, because Orion's constellation is still, pretty visible on our horizon. Mars and Uranus are at minimal angle at 1:07 p.m. Mars will be 2.2 degrees north-northwest. We'll be able to observe that at 5:57 a.m. with a 4.6 degree west-northwest separation. No, the moon and Uranus. I'm sorry, not Mars. I don't know why I wrote that the first time. Anyway, Andromeda Galaxy will be at the highest point of the sky around 12 a.m. Andromeda Galaxy is currently in Pisces. So a lot of celestial events. I love it here. Yay for October. Maki will be at solar conjunction around 27 degrees separation and the furthest distance from Earth. Maki is currently in that Leo Virgo energy. Around 60 months, Maki will reach opposite visible. So in 6 months, Maki will be like opposite the sun, but for now it's in conjunction. It will be opposite the sun in Como Berenice's constellation while the sun is in Virgo. The moon and M45 make close approach at 59.5 arc minutes in Taurus. And then Mercury enters the Virgo constellation around midnight, and Venus enters the Leo constellation around midnight on October 2nd. So we have a big planetary shift happening on that day. Give yourself grace if you need a nap. Mercury entering Virgo constellation on the Vedic scales. That's, going into that overthinking space, invoking communication, teaching, and learning, paying attention to the patterns. Also, harvesting is big here. And then Venus entering Leo, your vibration entering your experiences. So wherever your electromagnetic energy is, you'll start experiencing that in equal opposite energy. So be mindful of the energy you're putting out when you're invoking what you want, because both matter. It's kind of like adding like positive and negative numbers together. Pay attention because that affects the outcome. So that's what I have for you for the planetary forecast. We have a lot of stuff happening in October, which is pretty exciting. So just to run down them for you real quick, and then I'll let y'all go. I promise. So the draconic meteor shower begins October 9th. That's coming from the Dracon constellation. The southern Taurus meteor shower begins October 16th. The Argrid from the Argid constellation meteor shower begins October 11th. The new moon annular solar eclipse begins October 14th. This is when the moon crosses in front of the sun. 87% is the max eclipse, and that's happening from 1:59 p.m. and 32 seconds in Eastern Standard Time. And that eclipse we'll be experiencing from 11:03 a.m. to 4:55 p.m. and it will be visible to us from 8 a.m. to 3:13 p.m. The Orionid meteor shower starts October 22nd, and that one is the one that's 25 an hour. Peace. Libra rising, Libra moon. Okay, your energy is coming. I'm about to be off here after I go through the October events. If you want to rewind back to the beginning, and we go back to the heart chakra where you see the green screen, and that'll talk to you. It's a lot of placements in Libra right now, especially in the asteroid belt. Yeah, the Leonis Minorid meteor shower begins on October 25th. The Almea at solar conjunction, which is the Cancer energy, begins at October 24th. The partial lunar eclipse happens October 28th. This is also the full moon. 3:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon passes through the Earth's shadow. Max eclipse is at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon first enters the Earth's penumbra or shadow at 2:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then at 6:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon completely leaves the Earth's penumbra. So during that period of time is where you'll be experiencing the eclipse. The Geminids meteor shower begins November 19th to December 24th, the last one of the year. That one is a really good one. So mark your calendars for that one. That one moves at 120 an hour. So you're definitely going to catch some meteor showers if you're in a good space. The maximum date for that meteor shower is December 14th. The total solar eclipse for next year is April 8th, 2024. It'll be visible over North America. It'll be most visible in Arkansas, and we won't see another one on the northern hemisphere until 2044. Sun enters Scorpio zodiac October 24th at 1 a.m. Mercury enters Libra zodiac October 5th at 11 p.m. Scorpio zodiac at October 23rd at 1 a.m. Venus enters Virgo zodiac on October 10th at 12 a.m. Mars enters Scorpio zodiac October 13th at 12 a.m. Lilith enters Virgo zodiac October 4th at 12:30 a.m. Sun enters Libra constellation October 18th at 1 a.m. Mercury enters Virgo constellation October 2nd at 12 a.m. Libra constellation October 19th at 12:30 a.m. Venus enters Leo constellation October 2nd at 12 a.m. Mars enters Libra constellation October 4th at 12 a.m. Ceres enters Scorpio zodiac September 16th at 11 p.m. and then Libra constellation September 1st at 10 p.m. Pallas enters Libra zodiac at September 14th at 11 p.m. and then Virgo constellation September 2nd at 10 p.m. Vesta enters Cancer zodiac September 14th around 11:30 p.m. Sappho enters Libra zodiac September 9th around 11 p.m. Juno enters Virgo zodiac around October 18th at on October 18th around 1 a.m. Leo constellation October 5th around 12:30 a.m. Almea enters Scorpio zodiac October 2nd at 12:41 a.m. Psyche enters Sagittarius zodiac October 5th at 12:30 a.m. Scorpio constellation September 16th at around 11 p.m. And then the Draconic Sun enters Virgo constellation September 20th around 11 p.m. So that's what I got for y'all for the astronomical report, planetary forecast. So if you go back to the beginning of this video, y'all, the first half of this video is me talking about the planets through the chakras as a collective in the transit chart, and the transit that they're making and how they create the electromagnetic field over us. And then I go through some of my affirmation music for y'all because I know y'all love my music so much. And then I get into what the planets are doing from September 18th all the way up to October 2nd, and then I gave y'all some cheat codes for the rest of 2024. So I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in. Enjoy these retrogrades, these meteor showers, and I will see y'all during the full moon for the next planetary forecast. Peace, y'all.